Is an exclusive presentation of the Nebraska Rural Radio Association. This is the Platte Valley Company's pregame show, brought to you by Platte Valley Companies, your premier provider of financial services. Live from the Logos broadcast booth, it's the Platte Valley Company's pregame show.
Another edition of Pioneers Baseball is on the air. My name is Carson Trail, alongside Tobias Zabore of the North Platte Plainsmen. We are live from Oregon Trail Park in the Logos broadcast booth, about to see the Pioneers play Game 2 of this 3-game series against the North Platte Plainsmen.
Yeah, last night was about as good as baseball as you could get. A back-and-forth game that went down to the wire. The last batter, a one-run affair. We're hoping for a game just as good today between these two rivals, and a game that should, between the pitching matchup at least, provide some fireworks on the mounds.
The 12th time these two teams are matching up here this year. The Pioneers and the Plainsmen will be back for our Platte Valley Company's pregame show, and we'll have to see what head coach Brandon Nelson has to say about it in just a moment.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Ryan's Welding and Trailer Sales in Scottsbluff is your authorized PJ trailer dealer, as well as a full-service welding and fabrication shop. As your PJ dealer, they have lots of options from dump trailers and bumper pull dumps to equipment tilts, super wides, car haulers, and utility. These PJ trailers are built in Texas to hold up to the hard-working professional using them. Come see the quality for yourself. 1110 Avenue B in Scottsbluff, or call 308-575-0710 to find what you're looking for. If it's not in stock, they can get it for you. Ryan's Welding and Trailer Sales.
Dooley Oil has been providing great service since 1968. You can find us located at 2475 10th Street in Gearing, with a total of 5 locations to serve Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. Hi, this is Brian from Dooley Oil, letting you know that we have hydraulic, coolant, and engine oils, as well as grease in stock and on hand. Our drip oil and blue ribbon death comes in a variety of sizes from 2.5s to totes. Delivery available. So for all your ag, commercial, lubricants, and fuel needs, trust the folks at Dooley Oil. Thank you for your patronage. Dooley Oil, committed to you.
KNEB 960 AM and 100.3 FM.
Live from the Logos broadcast booth, once again, this is our Scottsbluff screen printing pregame interview featuring head coach Brandon Nelson of the Pioneers. Coach, your squad won 5-4 yesterday, game 1 against North Platte, and the rematch for game 2 to take place just a few moments from now.
Yeah, it's always fun to win, especially, your first game home in a little bit. And, it wasn't our prettiest win, but we've got a saying, ugly wins are better than pretty losses. And, so you got to take them when you can get them. So had a nice little talk at the end, though, talking about, just intensity as players and being locked in the dugout as well as on the field, as we were kind of just going through the motions. And it felt like one of those games where, everybody just kind of expects it to be handed to them instead of going out and taking it. And, we got lucky, and I'll be honest, we got super lucky last night, and, we're lucky enough to come away with the win. But, we have to be better at being in attack mode and not, complacent and just hoping that something goes our way, because it's not always going to. Luckily last night it did, but, if we play like that, like we did last night, we're gonna struggle going forward. So we really need to tighten it up, and we've just really got to lock it in, especially here at the late end of the summer. Everyone's really tired, but that's when you really got to push through and find a way to show up to the yard every day as if it's day 1 of the season.
I was going to say, how much does fatigue play a role in kind of how the team looks early on, especially given that these guys haven't really played as rigorous of a schedule as this before in their careers a whole lot?
Yeah, you can tell. You can see it, and you can see it in some of our guys that, just more tired than normal. You could see we're just kind of like not quite zombies, but you can kind of see that they're just not all there because, hey, it's a tough schedule, especially at this point in the summer, and it's only going to get harder. So it's just one of those things where, we have to find a way to dig deep. And, a lot of these guys have professional aspirations, and this is kind of like a professional schedule. You're going to play a lot and not a lot of off days. So these guys are kind of figuring that out right now, that, they're going to learn real quick that if this is what they want to do, they got to find a way to to push through these days because this is how it is. So, yeah, I mean, it plays a little bit of a factor, but, you know, trying to mix and match and get some guys as much rest as possible, you know, given our, you know, the limited roster at this point in the summer. So, you know, just got to keep mixing it up and trying to keep guys as fresh as possible. And, you know, that's on me and the coaching staff to kind of work through that and make sure that we're keeping guys fresh. So, you know, lineup's going to change a little bit more here and there going forward and just everything that we can do to keep guys as fresh as possible.
And more on that, a lot of new arms being worked in every now and then. Michael Asensio, yesterday, making his Pioneers debut on the mound, in addition to recording 2 doubles, including a 2-run knock, dubiously recorded, and the save.
Yeah, so funnily enough, Mike actually was recruited to his college as a two-way player. I don't know how much pitching he's going to actually do. You know, Kaskaskia has got a pretty good amount of arms, I think, there, and I just don't see in Mike's future. I don't see that being his game. He's starting to really come into his own as a hitter, and I think he's really, you know, showing those guys at KC that, hey, he's going to be a big part of their offense. And you know, not a knock on his pitching. You know, he did what we needed him to do last night, but I personally think that he's going to be more of a position guy moving forward. But he has pitching experience, and with our lack of depth at this point in the summer, you know, essentially it's all hands on deck. Anybody who can help us get a win, and Mike really stepped up for us last night, both at the plate and on the mound.
And I want to talk to you a little bit more about the pitching situation tonight. Archie Blumenshine scratched from his scheduled start, and instead we'll see Garrett Hames in his first starting appearance as a Pioneer.
Yeah, just more precaution than anything. Archer's still not feeling 100%, and you know, it's nothing major, just a lot of soreness, and it doesn't make sense to run him out there and potentially get him hurt. He just signed with a new school. He's expected to be a big part of that school, and you know, so just more of a safety precaution, just to make sure that he's okay. Give him as long as he needs until he feels right. There's no sense in rushing him out there. Garrett, you know, he had a start this year at his school. They recruited him to be a starting pitcher eventually, and so he kind of understands what to do here. It's been a while since he's gotten a start, but you know, I mean, he's been a bulldog for us all year, so I don't expect anything different from him, no matter if he starts in the first inning or comes in the 6th, 7th, or 8th. So, you know, I know we're going to get a good outing from him.
Garrett Hames getting the starting nod for the Pioneers against the Plainsmen. They will play Game 2 of this 3-game series here at Oregon Trail Park. Coach, thank you for your time. This has been our Scottsbluff Screen Printing pregame interview. See Shane and his crew at Scottsbluff Screen Printing for all of your fall sports needs. Back for the final segments of our Platte Valley Company's pregame show, including the anthem and the lineups when we get back.
Be the envy of the neighborhood with the new Green Mountain Grill from High Plains Spas and Recreation. In addition to Green Mountain Grills, High Plains Spas and Recreation also has the pellets, cooking spices, rib racks, smoking shelves, covers, and other accessories, as well as replacement parts. If they don't have what you need, they could get it. Yep, get a Green Mountain Grill and be that neighbor that's always admired for the wonderful, yummy barbecue smells. High Plains Spas and Recreation, open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, 1725 East Overland in Scottsbluff.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
It's hot out there, so go in and get your free AC performance check only at Russell's Automotive. They will check belts, filters, AC compressor performance, and visually inspect for leaks. They only use the best products for your vehicle, and as the ASE certified technicians perform service on your vehicle, you will know it's getting the best. They are now equipped to service the new 1234YF AC systems. They are here for you. That's Russell's Automotive, 112 West 27th Street, or give them a call at 635-4065.
KNEB 960 AM and 100.3 FM.
Logos is your home for all your screen printing and embroidery needs. Stop by the showroom or have something custom made at Logos, 1344 10th Street in Gering. As Carson Trail coming back into the broadcast booth for the Platte Valley Company's pregame show. Plainsmen getting set to take on the Pioneers.
Thanks for holding down the fort, Toby. The Pioneers, having really had the upper hand over their in-state rivals throughout the course of this season so far. There's still time for that narrative to change, however, despite the sunk cost record so far for the Plainsmen. The Pioneers have won 7 of their last 10. The North Platte Plainsmen have dropped 8 of their last 10 ball games. Their record is 8-26. The Pioneers 24-8, having just picked up win number 90 for head coach Brandon Nelson in his summer ball coaching career. So kind of a milestone victory, that big century mark coming up in hopefully 10 wins from now for the Pioneers. A tough stretch ahead of them. They will go on the road in Kansas after hosting the Colorado Rough Riders for a 3-game set starting this Tuesday. So the Plainsmen first, then the Colorado Rough Riders, then a 7-game road trip.
Yeah, and for the Plainsmen, for them, looking forward, it's staying on the road for quite a while. They have obviously to finish out this series tomorrow and tonight. Then after that, they get a day off before going back on the road to Greeley and Fort Collins for 2 games against those foes. They get a day off. Then they go to Liberal for 1 night against the BJs. Then it's back home for 5 straight at Billwood Field against the BJs and the Colorado Rough Riders to end out their home slate of games. But right now, in the thick of a long road stand, 13 games on the road in a row for the Plainsmen team. They were supposed to have 1 at home to break it up in the middle. That got rained out against the Fort Collins Force back on Monday. So they're spending a lot of time away from their usual confines and forced to live out of suitcases for a while.
The Plainsmen and the Pioneers, and well, let's talk about some of the pitching today. Anthony Comfort getting the ball for the Plainsmen, and Jared Jones' squad. What are your thoughts on him? How has he been so far?
Yeah, well, I mean, to really summarize how Anthony Comfort's been, you only need to look back to his last start on the mound, and that was arguably the best start the Plainsmen have ever had in their history. Comfort, the first ever North Platte pitcher to go a complete 9-inning ball game. He went 9 innings, allowed 5 hits, no earned runs, 9 strikeouts, and 3 walks against the Game Day Angels. He hasn't pitched, though, since June 24th was that game against the Angels. It's been quite a while for him that he's been on the rest. He's been spending time with his family. He's been out of town for a while. And throughout the season, Comfort has just been getting better and better with each start. His last time was the big capper, but we'll see what he can do against the Pioneers now on the road and not having pitched in about a month.
Yeah, not the first time the Pioneers have seen him this year, although he has much improved the way you made it sound just now, Toby. He started opening day, in fact, and got a little bit knocked around. Not a lot of help from his defense that day here at Oregon Trail Park. And his second appearance against the Pioneers, he threw 6 innings of 1-run ball in North Platte. So I think the Pioneers will likely see the latter version, the more effective version of Anthony Comfort off about a month of rest coming here tonight.
Yeah, and now that he should be rested up, he's coming off of his complete game performance against the Game Day Angels. The one before that was his Father's Day performance against the Western Nebraska Pioneers in that set that the Plainsmen won of that doubleheader. He's starting to come into his own as a pitcher. He's finding his fastball. He's throwing his sliders and his changeup a lot more, and he's throwing it to get out of counts. And he's able to work back in those 3-2 counts and get men out. And that was the big key against Game Day, and we'll see if he goes back to that here against the Pioneers. But I think Jared Jones feels really comfortable going with Anthony Comfort tonight.
Anthony Comfort getting the ball for Jared Jones and the North Platte Plainsmen. For the Pioneers, it's going to be Garrett Hames for the first time on this long and arduous season. A reliever by trade from Centralia College in the Pacific Northwest. He is making his first start. His last outing was a relief appearance, a multi-inning appearance, going 3 innings, punching out a pair, and walking just as many, allowing no runs. So he's been more or less effective. He's been an innings eater at the very worst. At his best, he's been a high leverage option, a multi-inning leverage option for the Pioneers this year. A decisionless year for him so far. No wins, no losses, a 2.93 earned run average. He has struck out 15 in 15 and 1/3 innings pitched to 12 walks. So there will be some times where he gets a little bit erratic and not quite getting in the strike zone as much as he would like. And he's making an appearance on the mound as a starter in place of Archie Blumenshine, who was a late scratch due to some general soreness. So that's pretty much your rundown of the pitching matchup today. The starting lineups to come in just a few moments. First pitch here at Oregon Trail Park was just thrown out, and it's going to be a beautiful evening here tonight. A very clear sky on the weekend of Oregon Trail Days. The parade was earlier this morning. A handful of Pioneers players, and myself included, walked or hitchhiked on a couple of on the Pioneers wagon and on one of the players' trucks. So it was a fun day, the festivities. We missed the chili cook-off because of preparation for game time, which was about 3 p.m. I know I was looking forward to that, although my stomach certainly was not. So, first pitches are just about wrapped up with. We'll have the starting lineups for the Pioneers announced over the public address system in just a moment. We're having a fill-in for our public address system. Bill Sheffield's getting filled in for here this weekend. The crowds haven't quite filled in yet. The first base general admission still a bit empty, but I think that we're going to have a pretty fun crowd here tonight. Game 2 of the Pioneers and the Plainsmen about to take place at Oregon Trail Park. The Pioneers have been playing fantastic baseball as of late, coming off a 2-1 road trip in which they took the final 2 games, scoring a combined 38 runs. A bit of a closer contest yesterday, but the Pioneers have their offensive lineup in today, including Coy Carpenter in center, who's been very hot as of late, and Cam Schneider third base, Aiden Orr second. Brad Halleck's been cold, but he's still in the number 5 spot. That's kind of some of the names to watch out for in the Pioneers lineup. Garrett Fisher, another name, a huge contributor as of late. I don't know, we're not quite running through the starting lineups yet, Toby, but who are some guys that you think that the Pioneers should be on the lookout for here today?
I think it's really all the top 3 from the Plainsmen: Zach Knowlton, Gary Golbeck, and Cade Owens. Knowlton's been hitting the ball pretty well recently. He's hitting .303 on the season, and yesterday he had a big triple into left field, and he was just turned on the speed, and he showed how dangerous he can be when he gets into one. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and pitch around Knowlton a bit today because he's been making a lot of hard contact in recent games. Then Gary Golbeck, he started the year 0 for 5, and ever since then he's been running pretty hot. He's got 5 hits. Yesterday he went 2 for 5. He's got 2 RBIs, and I think Golbeck is starting to come into his own in the Plainsman lineup. And then Cade Owens, the DH in today's game, batting third. He's in a spot that normally would be filled by Major Maiden. Obviously, Maiden no longer with this Plainsman team. But Owens is hitting .280 on the season against the Pioneers. He always looks to be really comfortable in the batter's box. He sees the pitching really well, and he's done a good job of driving the ball around the field and just making good contact, moving guys over. That top 3 of the lineup, if they're going today and provide something for Nick Hockmer in the 4 spot, it's going to be tough to beat the Plainsmen.
Yeah, Nick Hockmer's put up fantastic numbers for North Platte all this year. A couple of knocks yesterday, his average up around .380, so he's really a guy who puts the ball in play. Very difficult to strike out, and he's very fast. He's a very skilled base runner. So he's typically a tough out for the Pioneers, and he'll certainly be that for Garrett Hames today. Hames getting the start, his first of the year, serving primarily as a multi-inning reliever. It is going to be Jordan Stanton after that. And we will see tomorrow Jacob Malazzi as the opener and the bullpen game after that to be decided.
Yeah, and for the Plainsmen, we're still waiting to hear who's going to be their starting pitcher for tomorrow's contest today. Obviously, Anthony Comfort making his first start in a long time for the Plainsmen. Yesterday, it was Noah Soper in his final appearance for the Plainsmen. Judging on the way everything's been going, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see the Plainsmen throw somebody like Justin Santos out there for a start, especially after what Santos has done his last couple of outings, but still waiting to see the official decision from Jared Jones. But the starting pitchers have really come into their own for the Plainsmen. Each of their last few games, their problems have not been on the starting mound. It's been from the bullpen that has really caused them to buckle late in games, but starters have been carrying the weight of this team. Over all of their 35 games entering this one, the Plainsmen bullpen has allowed a total of 147 runs, over half of what the entire pitching staff has allowed just from the bullpen in those latter few innings.
Taking a little bit more time than we anticipated here at Oregon Trail Park. The managerial meeting is taking place off to the right of home plate, which is a bit unusual. I know that's certainly not traditional, and we're still waiting on the national anthem. I don't know what the delay could be. There's no blackouts currently rolling through Gering, as there was just a couple of hours ago. There were thoughts about a cancellation just because of the floodlights can't come on if there's no power in the press box, and it's very hard to play an enjoyable game of baseball. So the Pioneers and Plainsmen just still gathered there out to the right of home plate. Let's talk about our keys to the game. Given that we are having a joint broadcast today, Tobias Zabore joining myself, Carson Trail, in the Logos broadcast booth. Toby, I want to hear kind of what you have to say. What are the keys for the Plainsmen kind of to even this series here today?
It's going to be the bullpen has to perform. Yesterday, the Plainsmen had the lead going into the later innings. They turned it over to the bullpen, and things started to fall apart at the seams. If they're going to want to take one against the Pioneers and force a rubber match tomorrow, they're going to have to expect the bullpen to work a couple of innings and have them work solid innings. Allow pitchers to pitch out of jams, not get into as many jams as they're getting into in the last few games, and just pitch some solid innings and relief out of the bullpen. Trust that you've got Mason Davenport, the tall righty, the fireballer who's still waiting down there. You know you've got Flores, who you can trust for a few, Hideyoshi Kawahara. It's just getting yourself to that position, and once you get there, not letting your bullpen fall apart.
And for the Pioneers, their key to the game, presented by Team Auto Center, is more or less simply just keep swinging the bats. Really give Garrett Hames as much leeway as you can. It's going to be Hames, Stanton, and then Brandon Ward will likely be the finisher for today. A bullpen game tomorrow as well, giving Archie Blumenshine an extra couple of days off. So now we have the official mound meeting taking place. Things are really dawdling here at Oregon Trail Park. The Pioneers and Plainsmen, game 2 of 3. And our key to the game was presented by Team Auto Center, home of the lifetime warranty on every new vehicle from Team Auto. So we're going to have a couple more minutes before our national anthem. The Pioneers wearing their blue alternate jerseys, white pants, red belts, red socks, and their blue hats with the red brim. For the Plainsmen, a bit more orthodox than yesterday's gray on white uniform combination, a black and white color scheme. Black jerseys, white pants, green socks, and green numbers on the back of said jerseys.
Yeah, and the white pants, you can put full tribute on that one to Anthony Comfort. Anthony Comfort does not like to pitch in gray pants or gray uniforms. He believes that anytime he pitches in gray, he says it always leads to a bad outing. So one of those superstitions that pitchers have, Comfort will only throw in white pants like he will be doing today.
Is that why he's thrown so often at home instead of on the road?
That might be part of it, because there you're expected to wear white pants.
So, a couple of additional faces meeting at now they're off to the left of home plate. Jacob Malazzi and Justin Santos. Malazzi tomorrow's opener. Santos we saw a little bit of yesterday. And he has really good numbers against the Pioneers. Everybody kind of knows each other on either side. These two teams are far from strangers, and they are just about to get underway with, I do believe, their 12th contest on the year in just a few moments. Now, I don't know exactly what the holdup is. One umpire, Jordan Balthazar, yesterday's official, is here now. I don't know if we're waiting for a second. The lineups have not, as of yet, been announced. So, right now, I'm just going to try to get a feel for what's taken so long.
Yeah, this is an unusually long plate meeting between the two sides, and now it's just Malazzi and Justin Santos who are talking with Jordan Balthazar, but yeah, usually it does not take this long. It's already 6:39. First pitch was scheduled for 6:35, so we're running a little bit behind as it is and just continuing to drag on through. As you said, don't know if we're waiting on another umpire or it's just delays in getting everything going, but we'll do our best to fill the time until anthem and first pitch.
I will tell you what, this isn't the first time we've had to fill some extra minutes, but it's way easier to do it with the second person.
Oh, God, yes. We've had to fill time in North Platte, and I'll tell you, having someone to talk to is way better than just trying to read off something and pull stuff out of thin air to talk about for a while. And that just leads me to talking about, anything in the random blue world that I find myself doing. I spent like 5 minutes talking about grain elevators one day because I couldn't find a thing to fill time for.
Well, now they're starting to announce the Pioneers starting lineup, beginning with James Lehman, the leadoff man at shortstop. And we'll have our national anthem a few moments just after that. Garrett Fisher is batting second and catching. And he has really been the more offensively minded option with Jacob Lang's struggles. Fisher's played the last 3 games, including a couple behind the plate, also starting at second base against the Colorado Rough Riders. He's had big games defensively and offensively wherever he's been. A key defensive play in extra innings, leading to the Rough Riders' demise. So just about to get underway as the final couple of players are announced for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. It's time for some Pioneers baseball along with Toby Zabore. I'm Carson Trail, and now as we pause for our national anthem.
Join us in the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's national anthem is being sung by Tim Evans. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Now time for our starting lineups. Starting with the visiting North Platte Plainsmen, it is Zach Knowlton leading off and playing center field. Garrick Goldbeck, the shortstop, is batting second. Kate Owens is the DH, batting third. Nick Hockmer, the left fielder, is batting cleanup. Jovan Suarez, the third baseman, is batting fifth. Tucker Bond is at first base, batting sixth, followed by his brother Sam Bond in right field, batting seventh. Trey Runge, the second baseman, batting eighth. And Carmelo Ortiz, the defensively minded catcher behind home plate, batting ninth. For the Pioneers, James Lehman leading off is playing shortstop. Garrett Fisher, the catcher, batting second. Isaiah Gibbs back in right field after a night off. He has been on fire lately. He is batting third. Michael Asensio with the big moment yesterday. He is batting cleanup, playing first base. Brad Halleck, the DH, is batting fifth. Aiden Orr is at second base, batting sixth. Coy Carpenter, the center fielder, is batting seventh, followed by Cam Schneider, the third baseman, who bats eighth. And Hunter McCollum, the left fielder for the Pioneers today, batting ninth. Garrett Hames taking the mound, facing the top of the Plainsman lineup, making his first start of the year as a Pioneer. The native of Virginia City, Nevada, coming off his freshman year at Centralia College in the Pacific Northwest. And he is going to face Knowlton, Goldbeck, and Owens, who have really been seeing the ball well against the Pioneers as of late, each contributing to what was ultimately a 5-4 Pioneers victory, achieved under rather dubious circumstances. A fly ball that was controversially called fair down the right field line, hit by Michael Asensio. He would be accredited with a 2-run double to tie it, but upon further review, which of course there is none here in summer ball, but after looking at some of the footage offline, we were able to determine that that was falling just a couple of feet foul. So the Pioneers hoping to create their own luck again here this evening. It's time for some Pioneers baseball. First inning about to get started, and now with the play-by-play, the voice of the North Platte Plainsmen, Toby Zabore.
Thank you, Carson. Zach Knowlton leading it off for the Plainsmen, starting this lineup with Garrett Golbeck to follow. Yesterday, Knowlton had a big triple back in the 7th inning that scored a run. Gave the Plainsmen their largest lead of the night as he shows bunt on the first pitch. It will hit down fair in front of the plate. Play down at first in time, and that's going to be, looks like they're going to call that one foul. And we're going to wait because the home plate umpire, Jordan Balthazar, motions and points down towards home plate. And they're going to call him out. So first man is down, and now Garrett Golbeck has to get his bat, and Zach Knowlton will need to retrieve his. So Golbeck already coming up as the first pitch was bunted unsuccessfully by Knowlton. Golbeck went 2 for 5 yesterday, hitting .294 this season with a double to his name. Starting to find his groove. A lefty takes one low for a ball, 1-0. Started the year 0 for 5 before getting his first hit. That one was on the road against the Liberal BJs. Pitch is a little bit high and tight for ball 2, so it's 2-0. The count. And he takes one in there for a strike, so it's 2-1. Golbeck has 5 hits to his name. Trying to increase that total today. And the 2-1 pitch will even the count at 2 apiece as Garrett Hames, in his first start of the season, trying to settle down the Plainsmen side before bringing his own bats up to the lineup. The 2-2 was taken down by Golbeck's feet, so the count is now full. Waiting on deck is Cade Owens, the designated hitter in today's game. Golbeck shimmies, waits for the payoff pitch, and he takes it in there. Strike 3 called in the lower part of the strike zone. Golbeck had tossed his bat towards the dugout as if it was a walk. Upset with the call, but will walk back with 2 men out, and Cade Owens up to bat.
So we have a couple of different umpiring situations here today. Jacob Malazzi and Justin Santos have taken position along the lines. They are the field umpires today, assisting Jordan Balthazar.
There's a swing and a strike on Owens. It's 0-1. I've never seen that this year. The Plainsmen have done multiple games with one umpire. We've also done one that we didn't have an umpire and we just couldn't play. So, swing and a miss. There is strike 2.
So the way that they're displaying their neutrality is that Malazzi is wearing the Pioneers practice shirt and the Plainsmen's hat, and vice versa for Santos.
An interesting compromise after yesterday's game. Could have used some field umpires. The 0-2 to Owens. Swung on through. No dispute there. A strikeout. And Garrett Hames was a good job in the first inning, settling down the Plainsmen. So we will head to the bottom half of the first inning. Plainsmen can't score one. We'll see what the Piles can do here on the West Coast scoreboard. On the Logos broadcast booth, we go to the bottom half of inning number 1. Plainsmen and the Pioneers. Pioneers getting set to hit. We'll take a look at their starting lineup. James Lehman will lead it off as the shortstop. He'll be followed by Garrett Fisher. Batting third is Isaiah Gibbs, the right fielder. Michael Asensio in the cleanup spot, today's first baseman. He'll be followed by Brad Halleck, the DH. Aiden Orr down at second, bats sixth. Coy Carpenter in center is batting seventh. Cameron Schneider, the third baseman, batting eighth, and rounding it out is Hunter McCullum out in left field as Lehman will come up to lead it off against Anthony Comfort and the North Platte Plainsmen. Comfort, the lefty, making his first start since June against the Game Day Angels when he pitched a 9-inning complete game outing with 9 strikeouts, 2 runs, but no earned runs against him in a Plainsman 8-2 win on a Monday 11 a.m. affair. First pitch to Lehman is a bit inside for a ball, 1-0. And I think today's strike zone is going to be something we're going to want to look at, especially when not necessarily Lehman is up, but when the righties are up on pitches away.
Yeah, yesterday's strike zone was a bit expanded, about a ball and a half off the outside corner to right-handers only.
Fouled back into the screen, it's 1-1. Outside for lefties, pitchers were not getting those calls all day.
I mean, technically there's no saying that a strike zone has to be symmetrical, just the unwritten rule is that it has to be consistent.
Comfort's 1-1, pitches fouled off, so it's 1-2, and yesterday it was definitely consistent. There were a lot of calls in the same place that were called the same way, so at least that broke that way. 1-2 the count to the leadoff man, James Lehman. Comfort trying to do the same thing the Pios did to the Plainsmen. Swinging a little dribbler, foul off the plate, so it stays where we are. Fielding for the Plainsmen, catching is Carmelo Ortiz. At first base is Tucker Bond. Second is Trey Runge. At shortstop, Garrett Golbeck. The third baseman is Jovan Suarez. In left field is Nick Hockmer. Out in center, they have Zach Knowlton. And in right is Sam Bond. Once again, a 1-2 count from the Plainsmen starter, Anthony Comfort, to James Lehman, the leadoff batter. In the bottom of the first inning. And there's another foul ball, so we'll stay at 1-2. Lehman seeing a few more from Comfort and just staying alive. Comfort, the sophomore from the University of Jamestown, kicks and fires. The 1-2 is a bit inside, so it's 2-2. Unable to find that one over the plate.
Yeah, Lehman's been a potent on-base threat for the Pioneers. Even though he had kind of a cold stretch, his on-base percentage is way up above 400.
That one works inside on Lehman again, so the count will run full. The first batter that Anthony Comfort faces today. He's had some fairly good outings this year, but has also struggled with allowing the big inning, and the leadoff batter is hit. Lehman gets plunked right on the back by the belt. So a hit by pitch puts a man at first for Garrett Fisher.
Not the way that James Lehman drew it up, I'm sure, but he'll take it. Especially to lead off this ball game at ahead of one of the Pioneers, if not two of the Pioneers' hottest hitters.
It's just the fourth batter this year that Anthony Comfort has plunked with a pitch, as Fisher, batting .293 with 12 runs batted in, comes to the plate. He's got a man on first and nobody out, and the first pitch works in towards his back foot. It's a ball, 1-0. So Comfort just looking to find the strike zone in this first inning and settle on down. His last outing, he got the Angels 1-2-3 in the first. He struggled with his command in the second and then in the seventh, but then was able to figure it out beyond there. 1-0 pitch is a little bit high, so it is now 2-0. He had Lehman in a 2-strike count, 1-2, but a couple of foul balls and a couple taken put him in a bad spot. Checks the runner at first, but he is in standing. And the throw back to Anthony Comfort, he just bare hands, step back on top of the mound. Comfort sets with the 2-0 on home to Garrett Fisher. Lehman is down at first. check on the runner, and he will be safe.
Lehman's got a pretty good sized lead over there, and now he has to get up. Might have been an awkward slide going back.
So he will walk it out and now head back towards first base so that we can resume play. Comfort will now come home with the 2-0, and that one is just a bit away on the righty, so it's 3-0. First batter sees a full count, and now Fisher is in a 3-0 count with a man already on, and a dangerous start for Plainsmen pitching. Comfort just trying to work out of it. And the 3-0 is going to be in there for a strike at the bottom part of the zone, so it's 3-1.
Even with the hitter as hot as Garrett Fisher, I'm not surprised to see him taking all the way.
Trying to work 2 on and nobody out for Isaiah Gibbs, who's waiting on deck. As the 3-1 offering is taken high for a strike, and the count is back to being full.
Yeah, Fisher about to toss the bat aside that time, but thankfully he did not let go too early. Didn't have to make the walk of shame and pick it back up to get in the batter's box again.
He will get ready to hit with a full count and a man at first. Nobody out. Bottom of the first, and they check the runner at first. He is safe, but almost got him sleeping out there.
I'd be surprised to send the runner here, even in this situation. Fisher's been seeing the ball very well. The same can be said for the man on deck, Isaiah Gibbs. He would hate to lose a runner at first ahead of those two guys.
The payoff is a grounder, and that one will be ruled a foul ball down the third base line. So we'll do it all over again. That one missed being fair by a couple of inches, but it hit foul over the third base bag. So Fisher will once again see a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The leadoff man in this first inning, James Lehman, was plunked on a full count by Anthony Comfort. Plainsmen were retired 1-2-3 in the top half, trying to get out of this early jam in the bottom half. And there's a swing and a miss on one low. It got him, and the first out of this ball game for Anthony Comfort comes via the strikeout. Buried one down and in, and now Isaiah Gibbs will come up with a man on and a man out.
Yeah, that was the back foot slider, a classic pitch from a left-hander to an opposite-handed right-hander. Garrett Fisher, not a guy who chases a whole lot. It really had to be perfect execution, and that's exactly what it was from Anthony Comfort.
Gibbs coming up to hit with a man down and a man at first. He will take the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. That one a bit low and away. In the strike zone to the righty, Gibbs, hitting .364, entering today's contest. He takes one that buries itself inside, so it's 1-1. In an inning where Anthony Comfort has been forced to throw a lot of pitches, faced 2 full counts, but has worked his way through the first out. Now the 1-1 is hit on a line right to short. Goldbeck catches it on the fly. The throw to first skips away from Tucker Bond, and now going down to second is James Lehman. The throw is going to be late and offline, so they get the line out, but an errant throw puts a man at second, and Bond unable to pick that one, and Goldbeck was just a little bit off the money.
Yeah, it looks like Goldbeck tried to be a little bit too quick with that. It's not like he had any seconds to spare. I do think the throw was there in time. It just wasn't quite picked out by Tucker Bond. And as a result, the Pioneers have their first man in scoring position here in the first.
It will be 2 outs, though, for Michael Asensio. He's got Lehman down at second after the throwing error put him there on the line out to Garrett Goldbeck. First pitch to Asensio is a strike outside. It's 0-1.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Comfort test the limits of the outside corner yet, but that low strike being given to right-handed hitters today.
So he comes back set with an 0-1 count, 2 down and a runner down at second. The delivery, and there's a foul ball off the plate, so we're back to being at 0-2. Comfort a pitch away from getting out of the inning, and despite the leadoff hit by pitch and some struggles early, he has found his groove. Got a strikeout and a line out right to the glove of the shortstop, Garrett Goldbeck. Now Comfort's got an 0-2 count with 2 down. Runner at second in Lehman. The pitch home, swung on, and it got him. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over. So the leadoff man is hit and makes his way to second, but Comfort works out of the jam and sends us to the second inning with the score 0-all on the West Coast scoreboard.
We're going to do a nice little water so you know how to do it. They catch it, they take your shot. Last team standing wins, or the furthest throw wins. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, all right. On your mark, get set, go. All right. Oh, we got a face shot. Oh, no! All right. 2 steps back, remember. Oh, it looks like our jockey one of the bars off. There they go. Thank you, Plainsmen, for finishing back up to you, man. Thank you.
Anthony Comfort for North Platte left men at second base to strand the Pioneers, so the score is still 0-0 all, as Nick Hockmer will lead us off for the Plainsmen side. Hockmer hitting .380 on the year. He's got 30 hits to his name, and has been hitting the Pioneers fairly well. Yesterday went 2 for 4 with 2 singles, and a ground out to second that could have been a hit had it not been for a spectacular play by Cameron Schneider. First pitch is well away, so it's 1-0. Hockmer takes one bit outside, and it is 2-0. As lefties still getting the benefit of the away call for the batter. Takes another one outside, but that one is called a strike, so it finds the edge of the zone. It's 2-1. On the lefty, Hockmer, who takes one a bit high to make it a 3-1 count to the leadoff batter. Plainsmen in the first inning could not get a man on base. Hockmer will be followed by Jovan Suarez, and that one's taken away for ball 4. So the leadoff walk provided for the North Platte Plainsmen. The 10th issue to Nick Hockmer on the year by opposing pitchers, and now Jovan Suarez will hit with the man up, who yesterday had 2 runs batted in, including a key sac fly in the 8th inning that made it a 1-run game. He also had a pretty big single in the 6th that scored a run that helped to re-give the Plainsmen the lead. Swings to the first pitch, and it's a strike, 0-1. Jovan Suarez struggled after his initial return from break early in the month of June. His middle of June was rough, and now he's having a fairly good month of July. He's back over the Mendoza line, and he's hitting .219 entering today's contest with 14 hits and 6 doubles. Swings at the 0-1 pitch and lifts it into center field. Going to be a tough play for Coy Carpenter. Charging dives, it hits off the ground. Carpenter went for it, but was just out of his reach. Down to second goes Hockmer. And so Suarez loops one into the outfield, the first hit for the Plainsmen, and the first 2 men have reached for the powerful Tucker Bond.
Nice effort by Corey Carpenter there, but that one just kind of right off the end of the bat. He knew right away that it was going to fall, pretty far in front of him. So despite his efforts, lucky for him, he dove and still caught the ball, albeit on a bounce.
He kept it in front of him First pitch to Tucker Bond shows bunt, but he goes after one well away. It's 0-1. Hockmer was well off the bag, and he had to run back in, but they won't test him. So Plainsmen doing what they do in these situations and just trying to play small ball, move the runners over. An 0-1 count to Tucker Bond with 2 on, nobody out, showing bunt initially. That one is missed, and it's 0-2. And so now the infielders will pull back. That's Tucker Bond, who's followed by his twin brother Sam, is in an 0-2 count. Hames trying to get the first out of this inning with 2 men on base. The 0-2 to Tucker Bond, and he swings through that one, and the first strikeout of this inning, 3rd of the game for Hames. And now Sam Bond will hit with a man down and 2 on base. Sam Bond, who has struggled to this point this season, hitting 147. He has 26 strikeouts. Now just trying to make contact and move the runners over. He takes the first pitch a bit down and away, so it's 1 ball and no strike with 1 down to the 7-hitter in the Plainsmen lineup. As the next 3 batters, Bond, Tucker, Sam Bond, and Trey Runke, all hitting sub 200. Check on Hockmer at second, and he is in standing. So clearly some worry in the mind of Garrett Hames about the speed that the Plainsmen possess on the base paths and their daring and willingness to run.
Yeah, speed's a big part of the Plainsmen's game, and
as the 1-0 pitch is down and in the dirt for a 2-0 count.
And under the circumstances, I would not be all that surprised if Hockmer gets a pitch that he thinks he can run on, and Suarez paying attention to the runner ahead of him. I would not be surprised to see both of them take off and try to get a runner at third with less than 2 outs.
As Sam Bond flies that one high in the air behind the plate, but it goes out of play to make it 2-1. Both Jovan Suarez and Nick Hockmer have a couple of steals to their name on the season. Hockmer has stolen 3 bases, but he's been caught trying to steal once on the year. Jovan Suarez has 1 steal, 1 caught stealing. The Plainsmen love the double steal, the 2-1, and that's a strike outside to a righty, so it's 2-2, just like it's been all this time with Jordan Balthazar.
Yeah, that's the first major one that we've seen today. That was about a ball and a half away, the extent that they'll be given that outer part of the zone.
So 2-2, 1 down, 2 on base, and a swing and a miss. Sam Bond goes fishing in the other batter's box, and there are 2 out on back-to-back strikeouts for one of the most unlucky hitters in the Plainsmen lineup. It's Trey Runke.
Yeah, and that's what having that last pitch called a strike will do. That one, according to Sam Bond, just close enough for him to try to fend it off.
Runke, we talk about players hitting on the interstate. Well, he's not even hitting there. He's on a state highway, swings through that one, 0-1. Batting .068, entering this game with just 4 hits, 5 total bases, and 23 strikeouts.
That's not even enough to get me a speeding ticket.
Runke trying to come up big. He's got an 0-1 count, 2 on, 2 down, and he takes a pitch to make it 0-2. So Garrett Hames, after allowing the first 2 men to reach on a walk and a single, trying to strand him right where he left him with nobody out. Now there are 2 down. Runke waits. The 0-2 with 2 down on to the second baseman, and he takes one a little bit low, so it's 1-2. Plainsmen against the Pioneers have managed to have a lead at one point in 7 of the games they have played against the Western Nebraska Pioneers. They have lost 5 of them, winning just 2 contests against the Pioneers. 1-2 is down and away, 2-2, and the count runs even. Runke has had some big hits for the Plainsmen this year. His first one was a massive double against the Colorado Rough Riders. Was part of an inning where Kenneth Suki hit a grand slam to tie the game. Trying to provide another big hit for the Plainsmen here. 2-2, 2 down on home, and he swings through that one, and the side is retired. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Garrett Hames, and he strands 2 men on, so we go to the bottom of the second inning. Plainsmen can't get anything across. It's still 0-0 on the West Coast scoreboard. The voice of the North Platte Plainsmen, and Carson Trail, the voice of the Western Nebraska Pioneers, here in the Logos broadcast booth. Plainsmen couldn't get anything across on the top of the second despite having 2 on, so Comfort will have to face Brad Halleck, Aiden Orr, and Coy Carpenter, the 5, 6, 7 batters in a 0-0 ball game. Halleck, the DH, hitting .292 on the year, 10 doubles and 2 home runs. He's got 21 runs batted in. As he will wait on the first pitch of the inning from Anthony Comfort, who started the last frame in a bit of trouble, but worked out of it. There's a strike, 0-1. As Comfort taking advantage of the outside part of the plate against a right-handed hitter. Something the pitchers have figured out with Jordan Balthazar behind the plate, and another one in roughly the same spot, maybe a bit more away, but it's 0-2.
Yeah, and this is kind of a nightmare zone for Brad Halleck. Not only does he have to deal with his weak part, the outside corner being called.
Well, there he smacks one into right center field. It's going to find the grass and take 2 hops before finding the glove of Knowlton. Rounding into second goes Halleck, and he's got a stand-up double to lead off inning number 2. Comfort threw one that worked its way a little bit too far inside, and Halleck roped one for a leadoff double.
Yeah, nice piece of contact for Brad Halleck. That has not been a common thing for him as of late, so I'm sure that's something he'll be happy with. A leadoff double and a loud piece of contact, just taking a pitch the other way.
So now it'll be Aiden Orr. Orr has 18 runs batted in. And just like last inning, there's a man down at second for Comfort to work against. This time, though, with nobody out. First pitch is hit on a line to left center field. Moving back is Hockmer. It's over his head. It'll one hop off the wall. Into third goes Halleck. He's rounding. He will come in to score with no throw. Another double back-to-back for the Pioneers. And quickly, this part of the order has taken a 1-0 lead against Anthony Comfort.
And Aiden Orr has been the bane of the Plainsmen the entire season. Average up over 400 against the Plainsmen. That's his 8th extra base hit. This one to drive in a run to make it 1-0 Pioneers.
So Coy Carpenter hitting in the same situation that Aiden Orr last hit in. He's got a man at second, nobody out, except this time he's got the 1-0 lead, as Comfort having to face back-to-back lefties. His first pitch is hit on a high fly ball in the outfield. Moving over is Knowlton. He settles under it, makes the catch. Initially tagging was Aiden Orr. He makes his way back to second. So Carpenter provides the first out, a fly out in inning number 2.
Yeah, an uncharacteristically big swing from Coy Carpenter. He's not a big guy. He's typically a guy that thrives on putting the ball, when he puts the ball on the ground. That one would have moved a runner over. But perhaps just as much a credit to the deception of Anthony Comfort and get Carpenter to fly into an unproductive first out.
So now it's Cameron Schneider, who of his last 7 days has gone 7 for 14, batting .500 over this past week with 7 runs batted in. On the season, he's got 16 RBIs. He's got a man down at second, 1 down, and a 1-0 Pioneers lead. The bottom of inning number 2. Swing, and there's a line drive over the head of Golbeck to left field. It's caught by Hochmer, and 2 outs. That one right on a line for Nick Hochmer. Had to move in a couple of steps, but made the catch. And so Comfort's got 2 quick pitches that are out for the bottom of the order and Hunter McCullum.
And when this inning is wrapped up, I don't actually think that it would have been that laborious for Comfort. Those are a lot of quick outs, and even the base runners that he's allowed have been fairly early in counts.
And if he can get this man out quick, that would be a huge relief for Anthony Comfort. He said his goals for today were to work about 6 innings and get his way through with a limited pitch count on him and try and potentially work a 7th as he steps off the mound. He doesn't want to have more than about 85 pitches after 6 innings of work. As his last outing, he had to throw quite a lot, well over 100 against the Game Day Angels in that 9-inning complete game. First pitch is a called strike, bit low and away, so it's 0-1 to Hunter McCullum, the bottom part of the order for the Western Nebraska Pioneers, hitting 183, entering Game 2 against the North Platte Plainsmen of 3 that they will play this weekend. The 0-1 pitch is chopped foul towards the Pioneers' dugout, and it goes in, so it's 0-2. And if Comfort can get out of this, despite back-to-back leadoff doubles, only allowing 1 run would be a fairly solid inning for the lefty, and he would turn it over to the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for North Platte. He sets and fires the 0-2 home, swinging a ground ball on the infield for Trey Runge. Fields it off of 2 hops. He clutches it onto first, and that is in time to retire him. A closer play than it needed to be as Runge struggled to find it out of his glove, but nevertheless, the inning ends. A run does score, but the Plainsmen, after back-to-back doubles, leave men on base. It's 1-0 heading to the 3rd frame of work here on the West Coast scoreboard.
Anytime that you want to get into the libraries, just let me know.
Perfect, yeah. I'll
Just whatever you want to do.
Sounds good.
My pen is freaking breaking.
I bought the 144 pencils.
The what?
I bought a huge box of 144 pencils.
Yeah.
I keep some in this bag because someone who I know, like the last 2 years, has been in the North Pennsylvania, tells me to buy a and his advice has paid off. I've gone through, I think, like 10 already.
Yeah.
For the Western Nebraska Pioneers in the bottom half of the 2nd inning, but the Plainsmen were able to limit the damage to just that, as they will have Carmelo Ortiz leading it off, the catcher, batting in the 9 spot. who has been reliable behind the plate and reliable at the plate. He hits one right on the ground to James Lehman. That one kicks off his glove, rolls to the second base bag, so Ortiz gets the benefit of a bad play by James Lehman. Tried to field it off his side, and that will, in all likelihood, be ruled an error.
Yeah, that one was just a nasty hop. He was kind of surrounding it, charging it, and as it made its way toward the baseline, the ball just took a weird bounce, and it ended up caroming off him for an easy means of reaching base safely for Ortiz.
So Knowlton will come up to hit. He's got Carmelo Ortiz at first after the error committed by James Lehman. He grounded out on a swinging bunt to Garrett Fisher. Takes a ball inside. It's 1-0. Waiting to see if they run Carmelo Ortiz down there at first. No courtesy runner in for him. A strike taken, 1-1 the count.
Are you surprised that Ortiz, being the Plainsmen's only catcher on the roster this week, that they're not choosing to courtesy run for him?
I am, and I think that's part of the reason why yesterday they went with Matt Slowick, the pitcher, as the courtesy runner. But today, they're just letting Carmelo Ortiz run down there, as that one's fouled back to the padding, so it's 1-2 to Knowlton. But I guess the Plainsmen trust Ortiz more running than they do any of their pitchers, and they've only got 3 bats on the bench during this road series to Gering, so they don't want to waste anybody. Swing and a miss. He got him, and there's a strikeout. Number 6 on the day for Garrett Hames, and out number 1 here in the third. It's been absolutely dominant. Struck out 3 batters in the second inning after the first 2 men reached. Now he's got Garrett Golbeck, who he caught looking back in inning number 1. Takes a strike, down and away, so it's 0-1. With 1 out and Carmelo Ortiz, who led off with an error at first base. Hames sets, and the 0-1 is rocketed down the line over the glove of Michael Asensio. That's a fair ball to right. Rounding second goes Ortiz. He will pull into third. Jared Jones will hold him up, and now going back to the third base bag is Ortiz. A double by Gary Golbeck, ripped down the line. Plainsmen in business, 2 on, 1 down.
And I think that decision not to send Ortiz was a wise one. Isaiah Gibbs, despite fielding that in the right field corner, fired a rocket into the first base cutoff man Asensio. So Ortiz was held up, and now Cade Owens had an opportunity to tie this game.
He's got 6 runs batted in on the season. He's got a man down at second in Golbeck after the double, and Ortiz at third with 1 out. He struck out to end the first inning. Plainsmen trailing by a run in the third. Owens goes after the first pitch, but fouls it off to make it 0-1. As the Plainsmen try to tie it, or possibly even take the lead with anything placed into the gap by the righty Owens, who has been consistent for the Plainsmen all year. Takes a pitch a bit away, so it's 1-1, with 1 down and 2 on base. Owens gets ready in the right-handed batter's box as Garrett Hames comes on set, fires the 1-1 pitch. That one's inside, and it forces Owens to back himself off about a half step, and the count is 2-1. Owens, in yesterday's contest, went 1 for 5 with a single. He struck out 3 times, takes 1 away, and now he's got a very favorable count. It's 3-1. If he takes 1 here and loads the bases, Nick Hockmer would come up to hit. That might be the guy the Plainsmen would want the most up with the bases loaded in their current roster. As the 3-1 home is taken outside, and that is ball 4, and the bases are all loaded up for Nick Hockmer, the most dangerous Plainsman hitter in the lineup today, the cleanup man, and he could clean it up right here. All loaded, 1 man down, the Plainsmen trail by a run.
Big spot for Garrett Hames, too. And I do think that this is power against power. Hockmer, one of the Plainsmen's most talented hitters, and then Hames, who has been so consistent on the mound making his first start for the Pioneers. Now in his toughest situation in this game so far.
Hawk on the first pitch, hits one in the air to the outfield. Moving back is Coy Carpenter. Still moving back, makes the catch. There is out number 2, runner's tag. Down to third goes Golbeck. Scoring is Carmelo Ortiz. A sac fly to deep center field at the wall. And the game is knotted up at 1.
Yeah, and an excellent job by Carpenter. Really racing back toward the right field's gap. His backhand side reaching up and hauling it in on the run. That was no easy task. For a moment, I thought that was ticketed for extra bases.
So now 2 men are out for Jovan Suarez, who singled into left field. Kind of a blooper that dropped in front of Coy Carpenter, who dove at it, but was unable to hang on to it. Runner goes from first, a swing by Suarez, and the attempted throw by Fisher. He holds on to it too long and spiked it off his own base, so Cade Owens gets steal number 18 of the season. And now they're both in scoring position with 2 outs. And an 0-1 count to Suarez, who looked like his swing there was just the defensive swing with a man going. Count 0-1. 2 down. Both runners are in scoring position. This game is now tied at 1-all in the top of inning number 3. That pitch is outside, and getting out of the crouch is Garrett Fisher to haul it in, so it goes to 2-1. Suarez has driven in 10 runners this season, trying to add to that total and give the Plainsmen the lead. 2-1 is spiked in the dirt, and a good slide by Garrett Fisher makes it to 3-1. But keeps the runners honest right where they are. Suarez waiting with 2 on, 2 down in a 1-1 ball game. Ames fires on a ground ball to the shortstop, James Lehman. This one he fields cleanly onto first in plenty of time, and the inning ends, but the leadoff error comes back to bite the Pios. A run scores, and the Plainsmen have tied it 1-all here on the West Coast scoreboard.
And distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
Devine Zabori and Carson Trail in the Logos broadcast booth as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning between the Plainsmen and the Pioneers. North Platte tied it at 1 in the top half of the inning. And so now Anthony Comfort will once again face 1, 2, 3 in the Pioneers lineup. This time in a 1-1 ball game with the tie back to him. He's got James Lehman, the leadoff man, who he hit in a full count to lead off this ball game. First pitch is a ground ball, right side, foul, 0-1. As Lehman trying to earn his way on base. Today's field umpires, obviously, Justin Santos and Jacob Malazzi. Santos down on the third base side, not totally unused to umpiring. 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. He served as a youth sports umpire in North Platte as a way to make extra money. Throughout the season, the Plainsmen have not been playing games, both behind the plate and in the field, although he prefers to be in the field. as the kids hit him with a lot of foul balls. There's a swing and a miss, a strikeout from Comfort to start the third, and there's one man out. And that's going to bring up Garrett Fisher, who Comfort got as the first strikeout of this game. He's now racked up 3 after the last K by James Lehman. Comfort waiting for the sign from Ortiz. He's got it. First pitch is a bit high and tight, so Fisher backs out of the way, and it's 1-0. The senior from Fort Collins waits as Comfort gets ready, sets, kicks and deals the 1-0 offering, and it's a little low to make it 2-0.
Fisher very patient up there. He's been getting on base a lot, and by way of a base on balls.
Comfort with his 2-0 home, and that one is a called strike a bit outside, so it is 2-1. Comfort going right back in there and going to the outside part of the plate that has worked so well for pitchers against righties.
I think we've seen today that even with
as a swing and a miss generated by Comfort, so he's got him at 2-2.
Yeah, there he is. He had to kind of protect that strike. I think compared to yesterday, though, even though there's a little bit of leeway on the outside corner, not as liberal as what we saw in yesterday's affair.
Comfort trying to work back-to-back strikeouts and get the second man of this third inning retired. Swinging a little looper into right field. Moving over is Sam Bond. He will reach up, make the catch for out number 2. Bond ranged over, gloved up with that left hand to snag it. And there are 2 away for Isaiah Gibbs. An impressive play by Sam Bond, who has not been the Plainsmen' best defensive outfielder all season, making one on the run, which he has struggled to do this year. Gibbs lined out right into the glove of Gary Golbeck back in inning number 1. And he takes the first pitch down and in for a strike. It's 0-1. Comfort trying to settle down the Pioneers 1-2-3 and send it back to the Plainsmen batting side. It'll be Tucker Sam, followed by Trey Runge. So the Bond boys, as the 0-1 is taken away for a strike, it's 0-2. And Comfort has settled on down and is dealing here in the third. Got the signing quickly working with his catcher, Carmelo Ortiz. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a chopper down the line. It's going to be a fair ball. A nice spear by Jovan Suarez to first, but it hits the dirt well in front of the bag, and so that one's a hit.
Wow, that was a spectacular play by Jovan Suarez down the third base line. In a diving attempt, he stabbed it somehow despite a weird hop off the dirt. But a little bit too long to recover. It's just kind of short arm to throw to first, and Gibbs, speeding up the line, beats it out with relative ease.
So after that single, they will face Michael Asensio with 2 down and a man on base. After the incredible effort by Jovan Suarez, diving for a play that ultimately results in a single. Pitches high for a ball, 1-0 from Comfort to Asensio, who struck out to end the first inning, stranded James Lehman at second base. At first is Isaiah Gibbs. Plainsmen trying to send it back to their order in a 1-1 game. The 1-0 is chopped foul, and that one heads off towards the Pioneers' dugout, and it's 1-2. Comfort trying to settle on back and get out of it. Send it back to Tucker Bond in the bottom part of that Plainsman batting order. Comfort kicks and deals on home. Swinging a little liner. That one gets through the side and right. A base hit to right field. Sam Bond cuts it, fires it on in. And the last 2 men have all singled, so runners at first and second with 2 outs.
The Pioneers have never been ones to go down quietly in any inning this series. And now with 2 men out, they string together a couple of base hits. And now Halleck, the man who doubled in his previous trip, a chance to put the Pioneers back in front.
Comfort would like to work out of it, send it back to the Plainsman batting order without them needing to get a run across, as Carmelo Ortiz will go out to settle his pitcher down. Floyd's Truck Center, your commercial farm and feed truck center representing Freightliner, Western Star, and Harsh. 322 South Beltline Highway East in Scottsbluff. Ortiz back behind the plate, so he will get ready to receive the pitch from Anthony Comfort.
What is Harsh?
I do not know.
It's spelled out on the live read sheet like an acronym.
I wonder if I can't figure that out. First pitch is a bit away. Count is 1-0. To Brad Halleck, who has driven in 21 batters this season. He's got a man that would make it a 2-1 Pioneers lead in scoring position. Another runner down at first base. Comfort comes back on set. He'll fire the 1-0. Well away, it gets to the backstop as it skips in front of Ortiz. He couldn't find it. He will field it rounding third is Gibbs, but he will be walked back to the bag. So a wild pitch, which has been the bane of the Plainsmen season and pitching all season long. They have allowed too many of those, and now it's put runners at second and third with a 2-0 count and 2 men out as Ortiz is back out to Comfort. Anthony Comfort once again. And Ortiz back behind the plate in a 2-0 count with 2 down after the wild pitch moved both runners up. Plainsmen would like to leave it in a tie game. Pioneers would like to take the lead. It looks like Harsh is a trucking company. 2-0 is ripped down the line, and that's going to be a foul ball.
That one was the correct call, I do believe, although Brad Halleck would probably not, of course, he certainly would have preferred it to be fair. And another hard hit ball on a pitch away.
And now Comfort once again gets a conversation, this time by Plainsman second baseman Trey Runge, who has a word with him. So Carmelo Ortiz twice has gone out to settle down Comfort. And now once the second baseman Runge has done it, who's been part of a leader on the field for the Plainsmen despite his struggling numbers. The 2-1 to Halleck is taken away for a strike, and it's 2-2. So Comfort benefiting from the pitch away on the righties. Trying to work out of it with no damage done despite the back-to-back singles and runners at second and third. With 2 down, a 2-2 count, and a 1-all ball game. Bottom of the third. Here's the pitch from Anthony Comfort as he waits for the sign. And time will be called. As stepping out is Brad Halleck. And a long time between pitches from Anthony Comfort. Trying to work out of the jam. 2-2, 2 on, 2 down, 1-run ball game. Here's the pitch. It is outside. That one's called a ball, so we run full. In danger of walking the bases loaded before Aiden Orr can come up to hit. Comfort would rather not face another lefty.
Obviously not even Aiden Orr either, just based off of the production he's had against North Platte.
Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the dirt, and a nice job by Anthony Comfort to work out of the inning. He leaves 2 men on base. We will head to the 4th inning. Carson Trail will be taking over when we come back. The score 1-1 on the West Coast scoreboard.
I have a special guest with us. Brody Fay will be joining me for the play-by-play with the game tied at 1 here in inning number 4.
Thank you for having me.
On the mound for the Pioneers, Jordan Stanton, the right-hander making his second appearance as a Pioneer. His last outing was against the Denver Cougars. He allowed a few singles, but nothing more. Although a couple of runs did score as the first pitch misses down and away to Tucker Bond. Tucker Bond, Sam Bond, and Trey Runge due up here in a tie ball game as Stanton fires across his body and misses down and away 2-0. So Garrett Hames, in his first start as a Pioneer, punches out 6 in 3 innings, allows 1 earned run, walks 2. And a solid outing all around as the fastball misses up and in. Stanton having trouble commanding the zone early on.
I understand that. Little home debut action. Maybe adrenaline, trying to rush. He'll be okay, though.
The windup in the pitch, and he's swinging 3-0 and bounces one foul, 3-1.
I mean, I don't mind that hack, honestly. 3-0. I mean, you're trying to get on base. Dude doesn't find the zone, gives you one shot. Got 2 more pitches to go with. Doesn't mind that.
Infield's playing straight away. The 3-1 is taken for a strike, generously given by Jordan Balthazar on the outside corner. The infield's playing straight away. Tucker Bond struck out his previous trip as he chokes way up on his bat. Right-hander against right-hander, the pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball out toward shortstop. A couple of hops to Lehman. With his momentum gathered, he fires to first in time.
You see,
for
that's
out number 1.
That's a really good pitch by Jordan right there. Going 3 fastballs. Actually 5. You could tell that he took a little something off that. I don't know if it was a changeup or fastball, but either way, it was on the low outside corner. Pretty good by Jordan right there.
Always weak contact, so important for a pitcher. If you can't get a strikeout, at least get a ball hit like that.
Absolutely.
So now Sam Bond in right field today. Right-hand batter takes up and away, ball 1. Sam Bond hitting back-to-back with his brother Tucker for only the 3rd time this year. He enters the game batting .137 as Stanton throws, and an outside fastball fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Base is empty, 1 man out. The Pioneers with 1 in the 2nd. The Plainsmen with 1 in the 3rd. That is the score of the game, 1 apiece. The windup and pitch from Stanton is another outside fastball fouled away, 1-2. So Brody, you've been on the mound, quite a bit, to say the least. How important is it that you're able to command the part of the zone that seems to be a bit more open, and that it's a little bit called a little bit less conservatively for hitters as the pitch comes in and it's fouled away?
It's very important, like you said, because as a pitcher, if you can establish one part of the plate, and if the umpire is giving you a little more leeway, you can then create more opportunity and more sequences off that location. So, for example,
here's the 1-2. Swing and a bouncing ball out towards short. To his backhand side, Lehman has to get rid of it. Throws low to first, but it's picked out by Asensio very nicely there.
That is a great pick. But as I was saying, it's very important because at the end of the day, the hitters can look for that. And if you keep pounding it, it doesn't matter because that's still going to be untouchable. And then you can mix it up, going to the opposite direction. But yeah, Jordan right now, I think he tends to rush himself a little bit, but overall he seems calm and control within his mechanics as he gets a first pitch foul ball right there.
Trey Runge, the batter, striking out in his first trip. Pretty strong inning so far for Jordan Stanton, but in his first inning as a Pioneer, this is where things went awry. A lot of singles through the right side kind of tarnished his day. Fastball in for a strike.
That right there. If Jordan just stays right there, he could have a great day on the mound.
No balls, 2 strikes. The right-hander from UW-Platteville in Wisconsin pitches and a pop fly. In foul ground down the first base side. Asensio waving off Garrett Fisher makes the catch to retire the side. So a nice quick and clean inning for Jordan Stanton. The Plainsmen go 1-2-3. We now head to the last of the 4th. It is 1-1 on the West Coast scoreboard.
Dude, I used to do this, right? In high school, I used to commentate volleyball games, football games, and basketball games. I just never did a baseball game.
All right.
It's been a while.
To face off against the left-hander Anthony Comfort. Comfort has allowed 1 run in his first 3 innings pitched. That 1 run was on back-to-back doubles by Halleckens, the man up, Aiden Orr. Orr striding in left-hander against left-hander was very aggressive in his previous at-bat. But that was to his benefit, lining a 2-base hit over the head of Hockmer, patrolling left field. So Aiden Orr with the third baseman Suarez pulled in. He will wait as Comfort comes set at the belt. Now he winds and he throws. And a first pitch change up down and in, missing for ball 1. 1-1 the score. The Pioneers trying to take the series from the visiting North Platte Plainsmen. Here is the windup and pitch from Anthony Comfort. And Aiden Orr swings and hits a shot foul toward the Pioneers dugout on the ground.
Watch your lips over there.
Watch your shins in the case of Cameron Schneider on the top step of the home dugout. The count 1-1 to Aiden Orr. A nod of the head, now the pitch on the way, and he kind of jams him up. Little dribbler off to the right side, foul, fastball off the hands.
I mean, that's a good pitch right there by Comfort. You go change up and then 2 fastballs in. Now you have the hitter guessing, but it's going to be tough. Aiden Orr is always a tough hitter to get out, and he's really complete for a kid his age, so we'll see how it goes.
The 1-2 on the way. Curveball called strike 3 at the knees. Froze him, kind of backed him off the plate, and then snapped a breaker over the inside corner.
Yeah, and that happened right after I said that, but that's okay.
Aiden Orr has been a very difficult man to get out. If you're the North Platte Plainsmen, strikeout number 5 for Comfort dismisses him for out number 1 here in the 4th. Floyd's Truck Center, we've already said that one, as Coy Carpenter, left-handed batter, takes the ball down and away. Contact Jennifer Urdialis, your local 5-star lender with Castle and Cook Mortgage for a simple, friendly, and fast loan process. For your home purchase or refinance, contact Jennifer today. Castle and Cook Mortgage, the key to your castle. Here's the lefty Comfort dealing, and a bouncing ball hit back up the middle. Far to his left.
Get there, Coy.
Golbeck has it. He throws to first in time. And Coy Carpenter is got. 2 outs, nobody on now for Cam Schneider. So
it seems like after the second inning, Comfort has really dialed in and made some really good pitches to get the hitters out, which is great as a pitcher, you know what I mean? Speaking from experience, it's always good to bounce back.
2 outs, nobody on, but still time for the Pioneers to get a rally going. That's how it went in what was ultimately a scoreless third as Cameron Schneider takes the pitch away, ball 1. Schneider lined the ball at Nick Hockmer out in left field. Right-hand batter. More line drive power than out of the park power. Here's the pitch. Swing and a hard hit ball on a couple of nasty hops out towards short. Picked out by Goldbeck. He throws to first in time. Schneider is retired, and so are the Pioneers. A very quick and painless 4th inning. for the North Platte Plainsmen and for Anthony Comfort, and an efficient one, much needed. We'll be back for the 5th inning. The score is 1-1. Thank you very much to Brody Fay for joining us on the West Coast scoreboard. Back on the call after Brody Fay paid us a visit. The Pioneers and Plainsmen knotted at 1, and it appears to be another close finish, the way that yesterday was.
Yeah, these are the kind of ball games you dream about.
As Jordan Stanton winds and throws to Carmelo Ortiz, who takes outside. Ball 1.
Yeah, especially when you get a series that's full of run ball games, close games that go down to the wire. It's just so much fun to be at the ballpark every day.
Stanton kicks and deals, and a fastball down and away, ball 2. So Stanton once again finding out just how far is too far for the zone of Jordan Balthazar. The 2-0 coming, swing, and that one's ripped out toward left center field, in into his far right. Coy Carpenter dives and makes the catch. Nice play by Carpenter. He needed a perfect read on it, and every step quintessential to flagging that one down. A sparkling defensive play, and now one gone here in the 5th.
Yeah, and a fantastic hit by Carmelo Ortiz, but even better job by Coy Carpenter to close on it and dive, and that time the dive pays off, and unlike when he tried to dive earlier against Jovan Suarez, that time it comes into his glove.
1 out, nobody on for Zach Knowlton. Here's the pitch, and a curveball called strike 1, one of the first spinners that we've seen from Jordan Stanton. He's been focusing heavily on glove side fastballs to the outer half as he kicks and deals. And a fastball a bit too far outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanton against Knowlton, who is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And a called strike at the knees, 1-2. One to 1, the score here in inning number 5. Stanton, in his second outing as a Pioneer, throws. And he strikes him out swinging. That was the fastball up and out of the strike zone. Knowlton chases, and that is the first strikeout for Jordan Stanton. Comes in inning number 5. So 2 quick outs and 5 in a row retired to start the day for Jordan Stanton. And it's now Garrick Goldbeck, 1 for 2 with the double today, as he takes a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Goldbeck doubled with a man on in the 3rd inning and was advanced as far as third base on a sacrifice fly that scored a run. There's a swing and a foul back, 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Asensio, the first baseman, playing back. Stanton from the windup, wheels and fires. And there's a swing and a line drive out toward left center field. Carpenter this time doesn't have to dive. He shades in into his right He makes the catch, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down, and 6 in a row set down for Jordan Stanton. 1-1 the score, heading to the last of the 5th on the West Coast scoreboard.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Why bank at a local community bank? When you choose a local community bank, you keep money in our local economy. That money helps support local jobs, schools, and businesses. Money that helps fund a stronger and prosperous community for us all to enjoy and live in. At Platte Valley Bank, we are here to help build and support the community we love being a part of. We believe that together, we can make great things happen. Platte Valley Bank.
Of work. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Pioneers. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for the North Platte Plainsmen. The Pioneers had a couple of rallies going in the 2nd and 3rd innings. They scored their only run in inning number 2, and then in the 3rd they were turned away. 4 in a row set down since then for Anthony Comfort, and now it is Hunter McCollum. McCollum bounced out to second his first time up, entering this game on the interstate, batting 183. Here's the first pitch. Swing, and that one's hit in the air to right field. Bond camps under this one, and he reaches up to calmly make the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, Bond was positioned perfectly on that fly ball. He maybe had to move like a half step to his left, but other than that, that one was hit right at him. And Anthony Comfort has been getting quick outs in this ballgame, especially the last few innings. And if they want him to go a long way in this game and save their bullpen, that's what Jared Jones wants to see.
Now it's James Lehman, who was hit by a pitch his first trip. He struck out in the 3rd inning, is 0 for 1. The first pitch from Anthony Comfort. Lehman runs up to bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes down and away, 1-0. James Lehman has been a quintessential part of the Pioneers' offense, especially as of late. He got off to a hot start, kind of came back down to earth, and now his average is evened at a 300 as the pitch comes in, and there's a smash on the ground on 2 hops to Goldbeck at short, a tough hop, but he recovers and throws to first in time. Lehman quickly dismissed for out number 2.
You have the last 4 outs the Plainsmen fielders have gotten. 3 have been ground balls to Gary Goldbeck, and he's flashing the reason why he was named a Gold Glover for his conference this past year at KCKCC. A good job to get those outs, and probably the most sure man on the Plainsmen defensive side.
So now Garrett Fisher, 2 outs, nobody on, 1-1 the score as Fisher, who is hitless in his first 2 at-bats, strides in for the 3rd time against Anthony Comfort. The left-hander winds and throws, and Fisher takes the ball down and away for ball 1. Garrett Fisher, a guy who has really torn the cover off the ball lately as the pitch comes in and misses down. 2 balls, no strikes. He doubled yesterday and drove in a pair. On a double, he was 1 for 3. So now Anthony Comfort wants a new baseball, lobs one into Carmelo Ortiz. Fisher, a true super utility man. And that tends to happen when both your parents are coaches. His mom, a softball coach, his dad coached baseball for a while. Here's the pitch on the way, and he takes a low strike, 2-1. Another side effect of him being raised by a pair of coaches as comfort throws, and a ball lifted up and out of play, 2-2. Down the right side. Fisher's not only raised to be versatile, but also he was taught from an early age to be tough. There was one point where his mom even made him play through a broken thumb. He was behind the plate, he took a weird foul ball, and he just kind of played through it. Here's the pitch. And the ball popped high in the air down the first base side, and foul ground. Bond settles under it, and clearly in foul ground this time, makes the catch for the third out. So it's been a quiet couple of innings for both sides. 3 up, 3 down go the Pioneers, with the score 1-1 heading into inning number 6 on the West Coast scoreboard. Trail Park, I'm Carson Trail alongside Tobias Zabore of the North Platte Plainsmen. For more than 125 years, Wells Fargo Advisors has created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. Call Ryan Windhorst at 632-7561. Together, we'll go far, Wells Fargo. So, up against Jordan Stanton for his third inning of work as a right-hander gets loose in the Pioneers bullpen. Brandon Ward. Stanton, having retired 6 in a row, pitches, and Cade Owens takes a called strike. 0-1.
Yeah, each of the last 2 innings, both pitchers have gone 1-2-3 on those frames.
There were only a couple of 3 up, 3 down frames yesterday as there's a slider in for a strike, 0-2. Owens, Hockmer, and Suarez, the 3-4-5 hitters do, as Stanton winds and throws and strikes him out swinging. A slider breaking down and away. That pitch close enough for Owens to try to protect. And he's set down for Stanton's second strikeout. Out number 1. So now Nick Hockmer. Hockmer, no official at bat yet. He has walked and hit a sac fly. 1-1 the score. The pitch is fouled back to the screen. The Plainsmen hitless since inning number 3. Here we are in the 6th. Jordan Stanton has been very, very good against the in-state rivals. Here's his pitch, and the 0-1 is taken outside. He put that pitch where he wanted it, but once again, that outside corner to lefty is a bit tighter. Stanton winds and throws, and a changeup misses up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, Hockmer's had a good eye tonight. He took the walk, and then that sac fly nearly was a double. So he's seeing good pitches and only going on ones he likes.
Here's the 2-1 on the way, and a foul off of Fisher and/or the home plate umpire Balthazar. It's 2-2. Base is empty, 1 man out. Jordan Stanton working from the windup. Delivers his 2-2 pitch. Swing, and a ball popped foul, this time down the left side. Hockmer really setting himself apart as a guy on the Plainsmen difficult to strike out. Infield playing straight away. The left-hander with an even stance waits as Stanton fires, and he digs out a slider aimed at his back foot and barely dribbles it foul.
Yeah, a great effort just to get the bat on the ball there. North's lefties on a pitch like that will swing through the top of it, but Hockmer stays alive.
2 balls, 2 strikes still as Stanton hesitates, now throws, and a pop foul down the right side again.
Yeah, he's seeing a lot of really good pitches and just not once he wants to hit, but once he knows that if he goes after him or waits on him, he'll be called out. So he's just trying to attack and see one that he likes.
Stanton ready to deliver his 2-2 again. Down and in the dirt, skips out and into the glove of Garrett Fisher, 3-2. Hockmer trying to be the Plainsmen's first base runner against Jordan Stanton. Stanton a big breath as he throws the payoff pitch, swinging a bouncing ball to third. Charged wisely by Schneider, has plenty of time and throws him out at first. Nice play by Schneider. That was one of those balls where you really want to get the ball before it comes and short hops you.
Yeah, that was one where Hockmer kind of axed it right into the ground. And a great job by Schneider to charge in on that one and not wait on it, because if he waits on it, Hockmer might have an infield single.
Either that or Schneider might have been charged with an error if it had come up and taken a bad hop on him. Now it's Jovan Suarez. 8 in a row, retired by Jordan Stanton to start his day. Suarez takes a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Suarez, big, strong, right-handed batter. He is 2 for 5 on the series with a sac fly and a couple batted in. And there's a fastball missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The infield playing straight away. Coy Carpenter. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a ground ball out towards second to his backhand side. Orr gathers it and throws to first in time for out number 3. So a perfect 3 innings for Jordan Stanton. 9 up, 9 down. Owens, Hockmer, and Suarez, the latest victims, as the Pioneers will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters, Gibbs, Asensio, and Halleck, due up with a 1-1 score on the West Coast scoreboard.
Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
Tie game at 1 here as Isaiah Gibbs is set to lead things off against Anthony Comfort, who has been rolling for the Plainsmen here today. So far it's been 5 innings, 5 strong ones of 1-run ball. Gibbs now facing Comfort for the 3rd time after singling his previous trip. Comfort, the left-hander, winds and throws, and a sweeping slider misses up and in, ball 1. So Anthony Comfort showing no signs of fatigue after a month off pitches. And a fastball up and away. 2 balls, no strikes on the powerful Isaiah Gibbs.
Gibbs trying to be the first base runner for either side since the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Yes, it's been a very quiet day, to say the least. Comfort winds and throws, and Gibbs pops one foul out of play down the right side. Isaiah Gibbs has been a very difficult man to get out over the past week or so. He had almost 24 plate appearances in the road trip the Pioneers just came off of. Here's the pitch, and he swings and fouls another one away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he was only retired 4 times. He went 7 for 11 officially with his 2nd home run. He drew 5 walks and a couple of hit by pitches. Just felt like he was always on base ahead of the big part of the order. Here's the 2-2. Curveball, and he breaks his bat, lining one out toward left field. Settling under it, Hockmer, he makes the catch. And Isaiah Gibbs, who didn't even drop the bat, is going to need a new one.
Yeah, it did not sound healthy off the contact. It looked good, but if that bat just doesn't shatter, you think that might be a double, but instead, the broken bat lends that ball to fly right into the glove of Hockmer. And now 8 consecutive batters retired by Anthony Comfort.
So now, Michael Asensio, right-handed batter, lots of power. Still no home runs for the Chicagolands native as the pitch comes in from Comfort, and he gets plunked. Gently grazed with a curveball, and to leave it to Asensio to be the pincushion for the Pioneers. Another hit by pitch. I believe that makes it 14.
Yeah, and there ends the streak from both sides of batters retired. Asensio was the last Pioneer to reach base in the 3rd inning, and now he's the first one to do it since then, the hit by pitch.
So now it'll be Brad Halleck, who's hit a couple of balls hard off of Comfort today. The first one a double, the second one just a line drive, harmlessly foul. Albeit it was just a bit close. Asensio at first base, 1 man out. Infield double play depth. Here's the pitch, and Halleck takes a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Comfort back in the stretch for the first time in some time. Hoping to get a ground ball at somebody. Not a whole lot of speed on the bases makes that double play a real possibility. The low set, the kick and pitch, and Halleck pops one foul down the right side. No balls, 2 strikes on Halleck. Halleck's the number 5 man in the order. The heart of the order has been crucial for the Pioneers' offensive success. And despite this being an offensive lineup for them, they've kind of struggled here against Comfort in the past couple of innings. The pitch is swung on and missed. And a snap throw to first base, bounced in the dirt by Ortiz. So Halleck strikes out swinging for his 2nd time, number 6 on the day, for Anthony Comfort. That ball in the dirt got Asensio kind of jittery off of first base, but fortunately he manages to get back in. So 2 outs and a man at first for the dangerous Aiden Orr. Orr, no stranger to needing an extra base hit against the Plainsmen. He just got his 8th earlier today, an RBI double, which to this point has been the only run of the day for the Pioneers. 1-1 the score. The pitch is a called strike at the knees. 0-1. Michael Asensio off of first base with Tucker Bond holding. Both Bonds on the right side of the field today with Salmon right. Here's the kick and pitch, and Orr takes a big swing and fouls one back.
Yeah, and a really good job by Comfort, but that one just missed by Aiden Orr, and if he had squared that one up a bit more, we could be talking a different story after that pitch. But now I think Comfort feeling a little more comfortable, and he's working towards his goal right now of a lower pitch count through 6 innings.
Aiden Orr, a powerful swing at that. He's hit 2 home runs, but it's been a while since he's gone yard. Here's the pitch, and he swings and misses. Strike 3 to retire Orr and the Pioneers. A couple of punch-outs in the inning for Anthony Comfort. He's kept the Pios off balance, and he strains a man aboard. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left on the hit by pitch. 1-1 the score, heading to the 7th inning. Tobias Zabore back on the play-by-play when we return on the West Coast scoreboard.
Tobias Abore and Carson Trail here in the Logos broadcast booth as the Plainsmen and the Pioneers enter inning number 7 in a 1-1 ball game. Jordan Stanton's day is done. He goes 3 perfect innings against Plainsmen batters, strikes out 2, and gives way to Brandon Ward, who will have to face 6, 7, and 8 for the Plainsmen. Ward entering his 6th game on the season.
He's been a bit inconsistent for the Pioneers so far this year. His past outing, one to forget, although it wasn't accurately written in. He appeared against the Denver Cougars, went 3 innings, and although he was knocked around a bit, it was not the 5 innings pitched and 6 earned run performance that is displayed on the stat sheet so far.
Plainsmen have a man just like that in their bullpen, Dylan Graw, who's been credited for more innings and runs than he actually has. Against the Plainsmen, he went 5 innings. On July the 2nd, was given the win. He allowed just 1 earned run on 3 hits. As Tucker Bond will lead it off for the Plainsmen, he has struck out and grounded to James Lehman. He was the first batter that Jordan Stanton faced, now the first batter that Brandon Ward faces, and he takes a strike down and away, 0-1 the count. Plainsmen trying to gain something here in the top of the 7th after they tied it in the top of the 3rd. Bond swings it and makes it 0-2. In what has been a pitching duel to this point from both sides. A bullpen game for the Pioneers and an Anthony Comfort game for the Plainsmen. 0-2 is high and away, so it's 1-2 on to Tucker Bond. 0 for 2 today. He was hitting 164 entering this ball game. Trying to avoid a similar fate. 1-2 when he fouls it off to stay alive. Ward. Trying to retire the first batter he faces. The 1-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss at one down in the other batter's box. First man is struck out swinging, retired by Ward. And now we'll face Tucker's twin, Sam, who's 0 for 2 himself today, also has struck out swinging and grounded out to the shortstop, Lehman. Plainsmen and the Pioneers have been back and forth pitching throughout today. Sam Bond trying to be the man who breaks the pattern. He'll be followed by Trey Runge, 3 batters in a row who have certainly struggled with the bat to this point. Swing and a miss on the first one, and it's 0-1 to Sam Bond. As both Bond boys today have been unreliable with the bat. The 0-1 offering is fouled off to make it 0-2.
Yeah, Brandon Ward's last outing, not his best, but it was at altitude. And now he's come back down with the thicker air, feeling very spry.
So Bond trying to avoid a strikeout, 0-2, and he just stays alive, fouling one back into the netting. His twin brother Tucker struck out to start this 7th inning. Plainsmen have yet to have a man reach since Cade Owens walked back in the 3rd inning. The 0-2 home, a swing and a miss. He got him on one up and away. So Sam Bond has the exact same line as his brother Tucker. K63K, and that brings up Trey Runge. Also 0 for 2 coming into his 3rd at-bat of the night. So Ward has his sign from Fisher, and a swing and a miss on a fastball makes it 0-1.
And Ward is throwing darts now. They have not been able to pick him up.
Plainsmen batters have been shut down ever since Garrett Hames left this game. The 0-1 is called for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. So Brandon Ward trying to strike out the side. He'll fire the 0-2 pitch. That one is high and tight, and it just misses clipping Runge. So the count goes to 1-2. We'll try to stay alive and get himself on base for the 9-hitter, Carmelo Ortiz. The 1-2 fouled off, and we stay right where we are. Viera Wireless, Hometown Roots, Global Reach, Viera Wireless, Scottsbluff. 1-2, 2 down to the 8-hitter Runge. As Ward fires, and that one's a bit high, so the count is even 2-2. With 2 down, Runge looking just for hit number 5 on the season.
And for as effective as Ward has been through his first couple of batters, he hasn't quite found that release point on the breaking ball.
The 2-2, 2 out home, swing and a miss, he got him. Runge strikes out Ward, punches out the side to send us to the bottom of the 7th inning as Ward does the sword celebration. It is 1-1 on the West Coast scoreboard. Against the Western Nebraska Pioneers in a 1-all ball game. Tobias Abore and Carson Trail along with you. Here in the Logos broadcast booth is Coy Carpenter will lead off the 7th inning. He is flown out and grounded out today. Comfort has allowed just 1 base runner since starting the 4th inning. That was a hit by pitch against Michael Asensio in the last frame. As he gets the bottom 3 in the Pioneers order, trying to settle down and get it back to the Plainsmen bats in a 1-all ball game. Comfort's first pitch to the lefty, Coy Carpenter, is down and in, ball 1. So the count is 1-0. Comfort with the 1-0 count to the leadoff batter, Coy Carpenter. Fires at home, and that one is low and away, so it is 2-0. Trying not to lose the first batter he faces in inning number 7 and trying to work a long one and save this Plainsman bullpen. It does not appear as if they have anybody up and warming on their side. There is someone stretching. The 2-0 taken for a strike. It is 2-1.
Not at all surprised to see Coy Carpenter be patient. He will never expand the zone, and that's part of the reason why he's one of the most tricky at-bats to face as a Pioneer.
2-1, takes inside for a strike, and Comfort's got him at 2-2, facing the leadoff batter in this frame. As Coy trying to work the leadoff man on for the Pioneers. They've done it twice in this game, not since the 2nd. 2-2, swing and a miss. He got him. First man is retired. A strikeout by Comfort. And there are 1 man out for Cameron Schneider. 8 strikeouts today for Comfort as Schneider has lined out and grounded out. Quickly working. First pitch is a bit outside of the righty, so it's 1-0 on back-to-back. Schneider Waits, and he fouls that one off right side to make it 1-1. The first year who goes to Dodge City Community College. Plainsmen just got back from a trip that took them to Cavalier Field, where the Dodge City A's play, and the Dodge City Community College Conquistadors as well. 1-1 on home. That one is in tight as Schneider backs off a little bit, so the count goes to 2-1. And Ortiz will pick the ball up as it rolls from the backstop in front of the plate and hand it on to Comfort. So he will walk back to the mound. Trans Systems, it's a sweet haul in this sweet community. DriveTeamGreen.com. Comfort facing a 2-1 count with one man out to the 8-hole hitter Cameron Schneider. He takes down and in for strike 2, and the count is even to the second straight batter in a row at 2-2. You're on a gorgeous Saturday evening in Gehring, Nebraska. Comfort's delivery, swing and a miss down low. We got him back-to-back Ks, number 9. He has matched his season high. There are 2 outs.
Comfort's only gotten better as this game is dragged on. Typically the 3rd or 4th time through, you see guys start to struggle a little bit as a pitcher. But it has been the opposite of the case for Comfort. He has settled in.
As the hometown kid Hunter McCullum takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Comfort trying to cruise through 7 innings and send it to 9-1-2 on the Plainsmen batting order in a 1-1 ball game. Here's his 1-0, and it's taken for a ball, 2-0. So another batter on Comfort here in inning number 7 has seen a 2-0 count, just like Carpenter and Schneider saw. Comfort struck them both out for strikeouts 8 and 9 of the evening. The 2-0, and that one's called a strike. It's 2-1.
And that take might encapsulate McCollum's struggles as of late. Very passive. That was a 2-0 fastball to hit, but he seems to be a bit more protective.
As the 2-1 backs him off a little bit inside, so it's 3-1. Trying to get himself on base and work it back to the top of the lineup in James Lehman. Plainsmen would not like to face that side until they themselves get a crack and a chance to hit. The 3-1, and it's taken a little bit away for ball 4, and a 2-out walk has a man on, and back to the top of the order for James Lehman.
How about this? That's Comfort's first walk allowed of the game. The Pioneers typically a very disciplined team. It has been all strikes from Comfort today, save for the couple of hit-by pitches.
He has been on point, but now he's got the first year from Bluffton, South Carolina, in James Lehman. He was hit by a pitch to start this ball game. He is grounded out to Garrett Golbeck and also struck out against Comfort. There are 2 men out and a man down at first base. Comfort settles up. His first pitch to James Lehman. And that's going to be a called strike, so his first strike to lead off a batter in inning number 7. It's 0-1.
And we're going to have to see if McCollum stays right where he is. He's a very aggressive base runner, and this is certainly the part of the game where he'd consider a steal.
And so Comfort steps back off the mound as time is called by James Lehman. McCullum has stolen 9 bases to this point on the year on 11 attempts. He could make it double digits here and move the go-ahead run to scoring position in the bottom of the 7th. Next pitch is down and away. Runner goes down to second. The throw's a bit offline. It goes to the outfield. There will be no attempt to move to third by McCullum. Count will be 1-1, and the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 7th inning is indeed in scoring position.
And now you've got a base open if you're Anthony Comfort. I'm sure he would like to throw Lehman a strike, but Garrett Fisher has not been seeing Comfort all that well either. The count's even, so I don't think that we'll see Comfort pitch Lehman any more carefully than usual, but that's something to keep in mind.
So Lehman now has to work with a man at second base as Comfort tries to work out of the jam. The 1-1 is down and in for a ball. It's 2-1. Comfort has a man at second in scoring position and has been absolutely electric tonight, trying to avoid allowing that man to come in to score. What would be the go-ahead run very late in this ball game. The 2-1 pitch, and that one spiked off the pads of Ortiz. Down to third goes Hunter McCullum. So a wild pitch has the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and a 3-1 count to James Lehman. Comfort is facing his most stressful inning since the third. And the Plainsmen now have somebody up and loosening in their bullpen.
So Lehman works the walk. 2 straight. Either that, I do believe that was an intentional pass.
They intentionally put him on. So now there are runners at first and third, 2 outs, and they will let Comfort face Garrett Fisher, who's 0 for 3 today. Fly out, pop out, and a strikeout. So they prefer that matchup, the lefty-righty matchup, as opposed to the lefty-lefty matchup against Lehman.
I think it's also a matter of what the count was. Lehman was in a spot where he could really sit on something, rather start fresh with Garrett Fisher.
As Fisher takes the first pitch away and Ortiz stops it, but it's 1-0. So Comfort, who had been pinpoint coming into Hunter McCullum, has now struggled to find the zone, trying to settle back down and send it back to the bats with the score still 1-1. Comfort sets the belt. He deals home, and that one's a called strike. It's 1-1.
Now we're in a spot where you have speed on the bases, a lot of aggressive base runners. And I do think that it's in the back of Nelly's mind, considering a first and third play, starting the runner at first and then trying to bait a throw.
Plainsmen have made that work this season. 1-1, fouled back, and it's 1-2. Double steal. Still factoring into the Plainsmen defensive decision-making, and you wonder if they try to go off to second, if Carmelo Ortiz would just hold on to the baseball and prevent McCullum from getting an opportunity to pass on home. 1-2, 2 out, 2 men on base. Plainsmen and the Pioneers tied at 1, bottom of the 7th. Comfort to the 2-hitter, Garrett Fisher. He comes set. Will fire home. Swing and a foul ball right side will stay at 1-2, and we'll do it all over again. As Comfort watching in from Ortiz. He's got his sign. He comes set. 1-2. 2 down. Here it is. Swinging a ground ball to third. Suarez fields it on a tough hop by his head onto first a bit high. He got him! Jovan Suarez makes a nice throw up by his head. Retires the runner. We will go to the 8th inning. The score is 1-1 here on the West Coast scoreboard. 6th, 7th inning. 3 strikeouts on all 3 batters he faces. Ray Keene will come up to face the North Platte Plainsmen, the righty. He will get 9-1-2 in the top of the 8th in a 1-1 ball game between these two rivals as Keene, the recent grad transfer to Emerson, and he spikes that warm-up pitch way out in front of the dirt.
Just a bit outside.
Keene will have to face Carmelo Ortiz, Zach Knowlton, and Garrett Golbeck. Dooley Oil has been providing great service since 1968. They're your distributor for premium Shell lubricants and house fuel out of Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. Extreme diesel fuel provider for the 3-state region. 1-1 the score. Plainsmen trying to keep it going. Potentially get a run across here.
One thing about Keene is that due to his real slingshot arm angle, due to the fact that he throws a 2-seam fastball, a typical 4-seamer that'll look like it's down the middle.
And that one's taken for a strike a bit away, so it's 1-2.
It'll bore down and in on the hands of right-handed batters like Ortiz. A lot of arm side run.
Ortiz faces a 1-2 count as the first batter against Ray Keene, and he just pokes that one foul, 1-2. He kind of had to step out over the plate to reach it, but does end up getting a piece of it, so he'll stay alive at the dish. With that 1-2 count as the leadoff batter, trying to work to the top of the order, Knowlton, and he swings and grounds it right back to Keene, who's got it. He will underhand it to first. One man retired. So the leadoff man gone here in inning number 8, and that's going to bring Zach Knowlton up. He's gone 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts, and as the first batter of this ballgame, a swinging bunt that Fisher threw on to Asensio. And you wonder with his speed if they just try and bunt him aboard in a good 8th inning. Takes one well away, ball 1. Knowlton waits on the 1-0 pitch, and he takes one down that trickles to the backstop, 2-0. So back-to-back pitches have missed, and the count is 2-0 to the leadoff batter Knowlton in this Plainsman lineup. Misses away, 3-0 with one down. Waiting on deck is Garrett Golbeck. One man down, the 3-0 pitch home, and it's taken down and in for a strike, 3-1. Knowlton trying to earn his way back on. The 3-1, 1-out pitch, and he grounds it over to second. Aidenor takes it on the side, fires it to first in time, 2 out. So back-to-back groundouts against Ray Keene from Plainsman batting, and it will bring Garrett Golbeck, the only member of the Plainsman top 3 who has a hit today. He doubled to right field.
And going back to why Keene is so good, that sinker generates a lot of ground balls. 2 straight coming here in his outing.
First pitch is taken by Golbeck for a ball, 1-0. Plainsmen have not had a man reach base since the 3rd inning. Keene trying to make that trend continue through the 8th. The 1-0 is inside on Golbeck, so it's 2-0, right by that front knee. Keene fires his 2-0 pitch, down and in for a strike, and it's 2-1. Golbeck waits on a 2-1 offering with 2 men out, and he hits a ground ball over to first. It's fielded by Asensio. It eats him up a bit. No one covers in time, and the first Plainsman base runner has reached since inning number 3. Garrett Golbeck has found his way aboard on an E3, and the sky lights up with lightning, and the home plate umpire, Jordan Balthazar, immediately puts his hands up, and everyone's going back to the dugouts. We've got to clear. It's going to be ruled in E3, as we're going to have a stoppage due to weather.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. The rain comes down, and I think we're going to pull the tarp. So, Toby, if you'd please take it away or just send us to break or something. We got to go pull the tarp.
I'm going to send us to break, as I'm not sure if the Plainsmen are going to head off towards the team bus or not. And unlike the last time we had to do this, I don't exactly want to be left behind for a few minutes.
All right. Take your time. We'll go to break. This is KNEB 1-1 on the West Coast scoreboard.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the Platte Valley Company's pregame show, brought to you by Platte Valley Companies, your premier provider of financial services. Live from the Logos broadcast booth, it's the Platte Valley Company's pregame show.
So not really a pregame show, but we are back after the 30-minute weather delay. 9:16 p.m. as both teams retake the field. A reminder of the situation before we had to go into delay due to the lightning. It is 2 outs, a man at first base after Garrett Goldbeck reached on an E6. It is the top of the 8th inning in a 1-1 ball game. There have been some changes, mostly in the field for the Pioneers. The new pitcher is Hunter McCullum, the former left fielder. Brad Halleck, who was the DH, has moved out to left. McCullum making his first outing on the mound this season for the Pioneers in back-to-back days where they use a position player on the mound in a key situation.
So this is not the first time, the second in 2 days, in fact, that we're seeing a Pioneers position player make their debut on the mound. Hunter McCollum, a Scottsbluff native, going to Western Nebraska Community College, throws from a funky low three-quarter release, kind of a super utility man for the Pioneers this year. And now with the pitching depth starting to wither here at the late going in the season, he is finding himself on the mound in a pretty high-leverage spot. Runner at first, 2 men out in a 1-1 ball game.
Yeah, and you close the book now on Ray Keene, although he is got the man at first base, but because he reached on an error, that would not count as an earned run. He faces 3 batters, gets a ground out back to him and a ground out to second base and a man to reach on an error. That is all he does in today's ball game. McCullum will come up, and after the weather delay, will relieve Keene. Again, it'll be Cade Owens up to hit for the Plainsmen once McCullum is done with his warm-up pitches. Owens, 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, with 2 outs and a man at first. As the weather still a little bit rough in the clouds off to the distance, but I guess the worst has passed. So we are going to play. Try and finish out this game today, and then play tomorrow's 4:30 affair before the Plainsmen get on their bus back to North Platte. Plainsmen side ready to take this one in and maybe try and pounce after the weather delay. It sounds, at least from when I was sat down in the dugout, that Anthony Comfort will continue on the mound for the bottom of the 8th inning, although that is still in question. So we're back again. Cade Owens is up to hit. Garrett Goldbeck is at first. 2 men are out. He's got a clean count to him in the top of inning number 8. Score is 1-1. Goldbeck at first, the first Plainsman base runner to reach since the 3rd inning, as Pioneer and Plainsman pitching has been on point in today's game. So that one is swung, fouled away, or misses off the glove, excuse me. Down to second goes Goldbeck as the runner was going, and he will be safe with the stolen base. So Goldbeck immediately steals after the delay. Owens went after a pitch. So it's 0-1. Man at second, 2 down. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's swung on through. Hits off the mask of Fisher, so down to third goes Garrett Goldbeck. Count is 0-2 with 2 down, but the go-ahead run for the Plainsmen is 90 feet away.
That has got to be a cross-up. I've never seen Fisher miss a ball like that.
McCullum in his first outing trying to get the first batter he has ever faced in a Pioneers uniform out. As Owens waits, the 0-2 is well away. That one goes to the backstop. Running is Garrett Goldbeck, 2-1 Plainsmen. A wild pitch. And Hunter McCullum's day on the mound. He allows Goldbeck to steal. A bad throw on a cross-up. Moves Goldbeck to third, and then a wild pitch scores him. And the Plainsmen are on top in the top of the 8th. So the count is 1-2 from McCullum to Cade Owens. Swing and a miss, he got him. Inning is over, but not before Goldbeck scores, make him punish after the weather delay. So we will head to the bottom of the 8th inning, 2-1 Plainsmen here on the West Coast scoreboard.
ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the Great Big Small Bank, FNBO, independent and family-owned.
Yep, just throwing Comfort back out there.
And ever so focused.
All right. The weather delay and a long time on the bench, back out on the mound for the North Platte Plainsmen. They will entrust him as Mason Davenport is up in the bullpen, along with another Plainsman who is throwing, so I'd imagine the leash is fairly short on Comfort. He will face 3, 4, and 5 with a 1-run lead in tow for the Plainsmen here against the Pioneers. As after the 30 minutes of downtime, plus however long the last half inning was, Comfort was spending time between the frames during the weather delay, throwing to Peyton Ramsey. So now coming up to hit is Isaiah Gibbs. Gibbs 1 for 3 today. As Comfort will try to work his 8th inning on the mound. He has 1 complete game of the season. That was his last start against the Game Day Angels. First pitch to Gibbs, takes 0 for a strike, it's 0-1. And Comfort probably now concerned about throwing strikes and getting his arm back healthy and ready to go after that long time down in the dugout. 0-1, swinging a line drive, hit to left field, that's moving Hochmer back, still moving back, reaches up, makes the catch for out number 1. A loud line out to the left fielder, Hochmer. And there's one man out for Michael Asensio.
That's the second one of those that Gibbs has hit this game against Comfort. That one he barreled up unlike the previous, which he shattered his bat on. But Hochmer able to track it down no less, and there's 1 gone in the 8th.
So after a loud line out, it brings up Michael Asensio. He was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. And he takes a ball away, 1-0. He was the first Pioneer to reach base since the 3rd inning, as the middle innings were characterized by exquisite pitching. 1-0 is a high fly foul left side. It's 1-1.
This has been the case for the Pioneers the past couple of days, but based off that swing from Asensio and the one from Gibbs, I think they're trying to do a bit too much. They want to tie this game with 1 swing, but really, it's been stringing hits together that's been the most effective for this team.
Comfort, maybe feeling some exhaustion, and the Pioneers trying to take advantage of that, throws it outside. It's 2-1 with 1 down here in the 8th inning. Plainsmen trying to get him through and not have to worry about their bullpen today, as Comfort with his 2-1 home is a bit high, so the count is 3-1. Waiting on deck is Brad Halleck, the new left fielder, who has moved from the DH spot. Comfort trying to make him come up with 2 down, but it's a 3-1 count to Asensio, and he takes one off inside on the plate, so a walk with 1 out, and that brings up the dangerous Brad Halleck.
And Asensio just keeps getting on base. That's his 3rd trip aboard after reaching 3 of 4 times yesterday. So Asensio's been the Pioneers' primary on-base threat here this series.
And so Brad Halleck, who doubled back in the 2nd inning, scored what is so far the only Pioneers run. He's got a man at first and 1 down after back-to-back strikeouts his last 2 times at the dish. Comfort likely working with the small leash here. First pitch is a line drive hit in the air center field. It moves Knowlton over. He will make the catch on the fly. There are 2 men out. So 2 lineouts by the Pioneers have brought 2 down and a runner at first for Aiden Orr. As they're hitting it hard, right on the screws, but right at Plainsmen fielders. And so now Orr, who doubled in Brad Halleck in the second inning, and also he struck out twice, will come up to the base, trying to hit and keep this inning going for the Pioneers. Against Comfort, who has been nothing short of electric so far. The lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is a high fly hit into right field. That will move Sam Bond back at the wall. He will move over and make the catch on the warning track to send us to the 9th inning. It is 2-1 Plainsmen heading to the top half with their 4, 5, and 6 batters coming up. You're listening to coverage of Plainsmen and the Pioneers here on the West Coast Scoreboard.
Why bank at a local community bank? When you choose a local community bank, you keep money in our local economy. That money helps support local jobs, schools, and businesses. Money that helps fund a stronger and prosperous community for us all to enjoy and live in. At Platte Valley Bank, we are here to help build and support the community we love being a part of. We believe that together, we can make great things happen. Platte Valley Bank.
Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
McCullum back to work the 9th. The Plainsmen up 2-1, and he has usually been used as a fielder for the Pioneers this season, but he is not unused to pitching. Hunter McCullum, last year with the Western Nebraska Pioneers, went 11 2/3 innings with 7 earned runs, 13 hits allowed, and a 5.40 ERA. First pitch is swung on through by Nick Hockmer for strike 1. At Western Nebraska Community College this past year, he had 12 1/3 innings pitched with a 7.30 ERA. Pitching for the first time this year for the Pioneers. The 0-1 is a bit outside to Hockmer, so it's 1-1. So not unfamiliar with the mound, but has not thrown the ball in quite a while, and he struggled with Garrett Golbeck on base. The 1-1 fouled back into the padding, so it's 1-2. Plainsmen trying to add some insurance for their bullpen here in the top of the 9th. Pioneers trying to send it to the bottom half, likely to face the Plainsmen bullpen with only 1 run to make up to tie it. Here's the 1-2 to Nick Hockmer, and he takes a bit off the plate, so it's 2-2. The righty-lefty matchup with Hockmer, one of 2 lefties the Plainsmen have in their lineup. Golbeck the other. He takes a bit off the plate again, and it's full. Waiting on deck is Jovan Suarez, the 5-hitter, as the Plainsmen have their cleanup man, Nick Hockmer, up to bat. Hockmer waits on the payoff pitch, and he takes it a bit away in a leadoff walk issued by Hunter McCullum. That is how we start the 9th inning for Pioneers pitching. The second walk issued to Nick Hockmer today. And he will be on for Jovan Suarez. In the second inning, Hockmer led off with a walk. Suarez singled, and then the next 3 men all struck out against Garrett Hames. Now Suarez trying to get his second hit of the day. Improve what has been a solid day for him already. 1 for 3 with 2 good groundouts. He takes the first pitch down and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count. with Hockmer down at first base, wondering if the Plainsmen try to get creative with their speed already up by a run, trying to pat it. The 1-0 is down and into the righty, so it's 2-0. Works in on the knees to Jovan Suarez, who's got Hockmer at first and nobody out, facing a 2-0 count here in the top half of the ninth. Pitch on home. Hockmer fakes like he was going, then held as it swung on through by Suarez to make it 2-1. Hockmer maybe trying to bait a backdoor throw by the catcher to get offline. The 2-1 to Suarez. Hockmer holds, swing and a miss, and now the count is 2-2. McCullum struck out Cade Owens, the one batter he is credited as facing in the 8th inning. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a foul ball to the netting, so Suarez will stay with the bat in his hand. Trying to continue this inning and bring it up for Tucker Bond with 2 on and nobody out, just like the second. The 2-2 to Suarez. Runner goes from first, a line drive hit right into the glove of the shortstop. Making the catch is James Lehman, and he will just play a game of tag with Hockmer now throw it over to first and double play. Impressive to say the least. That looked like it was heading to center field.
Yeah, and I think he just got that one right off the end of the bat. Good job by Orr covering the bag, and I think James Lehman was lucky that he was already going in that direction. I think that if the runner is not going, not only does that ball get into center field, but yeah, there's no chance to double him off.
Well, Tucker Bond hits one on the ground. Going to be a tough play for Lehman. Can't go it. It goes into center field. So Tucker Bond gets his first hit of today. First hit of this series against the Pioneers. So he's on with 2 down with a single. And now his twin brother Sam will have to pick him up at first. With 2 men out, Plainsmen leading by a run in the top of the 9th inning. They will have to face 7, 8, and 9. Carpenter, Schneider, and scheduled to hit Hunter McCullum on the Pioneers' batting side. First pitch to Sam Bond. He takes low and away for ball 1. As the Plainsmen are a part of their batting order, which numerically throughout the season has been a struggle for them, but today trying to make them forget those problems. The 1-0 is down and away to make it 2-0. A lucky double play put 2 outs on the boards for the Pioneers and Hunter McCullum. But a single with 2 down by Tucker Bond has him at first base as Sam, the 2-0 count, takes away, and it's 3-0. Sam Bond trying to work what would be walk number 6 on the season for him and bring Trey Runge up to hit. And you wonder if Runge's spot is called if they pinch hit for him. The 3-0 swinging a ground ball over the third base side. It's fielded by Schneider. Schneider to first, and it is dug out of the dirt in time. The inning ends. So we will head off to inning number 9, the bottom half. Plainsmen lead by a run, and here comes the closer, Mason Davenport, 2-1 on the West Coast scoreboard.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
count if we pull it off.
Half of the ninth inning we go. Plainsmen leading 2-1 over the Western Nebraska Pioneers, and out to pitch in relief of Anthony Comfort, Mason Davenport. Comfort's final line, 8 innings. He allows 4 hits, just 1 earned run, 1 walk, and he matched his season high 9 strikeouts. Mason Davenport is on for his 3rd outing of the year. He's got 1 save under his belt. That was against the Dodge City A's back on July the 7th. That was his last outing. He went 2 innings and allowed a hit. Against the Pioneers on July 2nd at home, he went 1 inning, got a strikeout, and faced 3 batters. In a 1-4 Plainsmen loss, he's trying to earn save number 2 as the new closer for the North Platte Plainsmen, replacing the role of the other tall righty that they used to have, Nikolai Arbach. Davenport will have to face Coy Carpenter, Cam Schneider, and Hunter McCullum, the bottom 3 in the order for the Pioneers, but a dangerous bottom 3 to say the least.
Yeah, Carpenter was the leadoff man for the Pioneers for the majority of this season. Some struggles had him move down, and of course, the surge of James Lehman. But Carpenter and Schneider, those could be your top 2 hitters in the order just as easily as they could be the bottom 2.
Yeah, don't be fooled by where they are in the lineup. This is a dangerous Pioneers order, and Davenport trying to work through it. Carpenter up to hit, and give the Plainsmen will be win number 9 on the year.
And I think it's very important that Carpenter is the guy that is going to be up there. He's the one that's least likely to change his approach from put the ball in play and just see what happens.
So now a righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch that Davenport will throw today is outside for a strike. It's 0-1. So Davenport, the tall right-handed pitcher, listed at 6'9" by Kansas City, Kansas Community College. His 0-1 is swung on and missed. It's 0-2. In college, Davenport pitched a lot better at home, a 3.97 ERA as opposed to a 6.66 ERA when he went on the road. Trying to prove that wrong with the Plainsmen. He's just got an 0-2 count and a bit outside, make it 1-2 to Coy Carpenter, who struck out once already today, been retired all 3 times he's come up to the plate. Davenport with the 1-2 home, swinging a little looping liner to right, left center field. It will drop in front of Knowlton, and the Pioneers, dangerous as they've been in the 9th against the Plainsmen all season long, a leadoff hit. Plainsmen trying to avoid allowing walk-off number 3 against the Western Nebraska Pioneers.
And Coy Carpenter not doing anything except keep it simple. He's not a guy who takes a whole lot of big swings. Now, if he's aboard, it's the tying run ahead of Cam Schneider.
Schneider is 0 for 3 today. He struck out his last time up. Davenport trying to get out of this one. There is a ball down and away, 1-0 to the righty. Schneider on a 1-0 count with a runner at first. He swings through that one. It's 1-1 from Mason Davenport. With nobody out and the leadoff man, Coy Carpenter, at first base. In a 1-run game, bottom of the 9th. 2-1 fouled back, and it is 1-2. Schneider from Fresno State, a first year out of Fresno, California. Just like Jet Ruby of the Pioneers. 1-2 is a bit high, so it goes to 2-2 on to Schneider. Davenport working the most high-stress game that he's done so far for the Plainsmen. Here's his 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss. He got him. There's out number 1. A key strikeout to start off the 9th inning with a man at first, and now 1 out for the current pitcher, Hunter McCullum, batting for himself.
And Cameron Schneider, that might have been one of the toughest at-bats he's had all year. Davenport, with his long 6'9" frame, really gets on you with his extension, so his perceived velocity is very high.
Swing and a miss on the first one. It is 0-1. Like I said earlier, listed at 6'9", So it's very similar to how batters would perceive a tall pitcher like Randy Johnson, to give you a major league comparison. As the 0-1 pitch backs him a little bit off the plate, it's 1-1 onto the 9-hitter McCullum. With one out and a runner at first. Plainsmen leading by a run in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-1 your score. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is fouled right side to make it 1-2 with one man down. McCullum walked his last time up. He was stranded at third base in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 1-2 from Mason Davenport. He takes away, got him looking. Home plate umpire Jordan Balthazar rung him up, and Davenport's got out number 2. And that will go to the top of the order, James Lehman, the lefty. Pioneers down to their final out. Man at first, 2 down, trailing by a run in the bottom of the 9th. Plainsmen are looking for what would be just win number 3 against the Western Nebraska Pioneers. It would be win number 9 of the season. Strike taken down and in, 0-1. What would technically be win number 12, as the Plainsmen have 3 extras against the Cage Rats due to those being home forfeits. A 1 pitch, taken away for ball 1. It's 1-1. Plainsmen only having 8 credited to them that they have played. Davenport sets. 1-1, 2 down, runner at first. Pitch is down and in for a ball, 2-1. So Lehman just trying to earn his way on base any way he can. Continue the line for Garrett Fisher as the tying run is at first currently. 2-1, 2 down. Davenport kicks and fires on in for a strike, and now the Pioneers facing a 2-2 counter down to their final strike. With the leadoff man, Lehman up. He's got Coy Carpenter at first. Davenport has K'd both of the last 2. 2-2, 2 down, runner on, 2-1 the score. The pitch, swing and a miss, he got him. Davenport retires the side, back-to-back-to-back strikeouts. The last 3 batters retired on K's, and Davenport secures save number 2 for him. Win number 9 for the Plainsmen, number 3 against the Pioneers. They have evened the series 1 apiece, going to the rubber match tomorrow afternoon.
And now some discourse happening after the game between some members of the Pioneers and of the Plainsmen. The Plainsmen are gathered at the center of the diamond, slapping hands, but there's still some chirping happening back and forth. First it was Davenport, and then I couldn't tell who it was after.
Yeah, Davenport had some words after striking out Lehman, and then as he was walking off, it seems like he was chirping a bit with Coy Carpenter, who was left out on first base.
All I can say is we're going to have a fun one tomorrow.
It'll be the rubber match of a series. These teams have played each other incredibly close these last 2, and despite the season series being so lopsided, these last few games have reminded you why you love to watch baseball, and tonight another one. And this kind of intensity only seems to build for what will be an exciting game tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to send it off to the break for the post-game show. Plainsmen taking game 2 of 3 against the Pioneers, 2-1. This is Tobias Zabore and Carson Trail here on coverage. Plainsmen winning 2-1 on the West Coast scoreboard. We will go to the post-game show.
one apiece between the Pioneers and the Plainsmen. A couple of thrilling one-run finishes. The Pioneers this time fall to their in-state visitors by a score of 2-1.
Yeah, and it was an exciting game all the way around. It's the kind you dream about as a baseball fan to watch. Just like last night, another one-run game that comes down to the wire in the ninth inning. This time, the Plainsman bullpen comes to hold, and what an outing by Anthony Comfort.
Yeah, he just dominated for 8 innings today. 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. He's done this a couple of times with the Pioneers. He was very, very effective. And Toby, this has kind of been par for the course from this year.
Yeah, his last outing before this one, a complete game, 9-inning, 9-strikeout affair where he allowed just 2 runs. None of them were earned against him against the Game Day Angels. He takes a while off, about a month before pitching this game, and then he goes out and shoves. He matches his strikeout total, season high, with 9, and has another absolutely fantastic start. And after the Plainsmen have lost so many pitchers, especially really solid guys like Sota Indin during this year, having Anthony Comfort step up and be kind of the new ace of this staff is exactly what they needed to see. And now you get to tie this series going into an exciting rubber match tomorrow afternoon against this very Pioneers team.
The Pioneers and the Plainsmen tomorrow at 4:35 p.m. Mountain Time. Let's kind of take you through how the game's gone for today. The Pios scored first. This is only the 5th time this year that they've lost when they've scored first. They've been very good at these kinds of games. They were held to just the 1 run, which they scored in the second off of a pair of doubles. Starting in about the 4th inning, they were kept quiet, as were both sides. At one point, it was 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. Not a whole lot of action.
Yeah, and there was a good period when pitching just took over this game, and that's what kept it, despite the lightning delay of 30 minutes, to being a sub-3-hour ballgame, because those middle few innings were just dominated by both pitchers and both sides going out and shoving. For the Pioneers, it was their bullpen stepping up and being incredibly reliable, and for the Plainsmen, it was Anthony Comfort doing what he's done best and go out there every single inning and be solid. And both sides, they were pitching out of jams, too. They were getting in some situations early and then later in the game where they had men on base, but they were pitching through it, and they weren't letting that get to their heads.
And from that point on, the weather delay set in at about the top half of the 8th inning. An error had reached against Ray Keene, who had to be removed from the game because of the intermission. And as a result, Hunter McCollum, who made his Pioneers debut, allowed a handful of wild pitches. It looks like that he and Garrett Fisher were not on the same page in terms of signs. So a couple of stolen base, a pass ball, and a wild pitch allowed Gary Goldbeck, the runner who had reached, to come in and score. So that was the story of the game for the Pioneers. Missed opportunities and free passes, free bases really loomed large, as it does when the games are, this low scoring.
Yeah, in close ball games, you always kind of think back if you're the losing team about what could we have done better, and then you think to all those situations. We had a guy there and couldn't get him in. We had a guy on the mound, and in that situation, they had to bring someone in for Ray Keene. He had to sit too long there on the bench between pitches, and they made the move to McCullum, and he just could not find the zone early, and that's what doomed you. But you think back to those, if one or two things go the other way, this might be a completely different ball game.
And Mason Davenport slammed the door. Another save for him. The winning pitcher, Anthony Comfort, deservedly so, with his 8 innings of 1-run ball. The loser, Hunter McCollum, in his first appearance on the mound for the Pioneers. It is Mason Davenport with the save we've already mentioned. The time of the game, 2 hours, 57 minutes. The paid attendance mostly chased away by the lightning delay, understandably so. It hasn't fully subsided, except it's moving well away from Oregon Trail Park. So safe to play. Everybody, pretty much finished up the game as usual. Not a whole lot of rain. The field is in good shape. But, it's kind of a little bit of an interesting one in terms of the climate situation. And once again, let's see. What more is there? Yes, there is our Taco John's player of the game. Toby, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to Anthony Comfort. And for the Plainsmen, you couldn't really give it to another guy. 8 innings, absolutely stellar performance, just allowed 1 run, 9 strikeouts. He pitched his best out. I would say maybe his best outing of the year, and that's taking into account the complete game he had against Game Day, against a really solid lineup. He was able to pitch himself out of jams, and he had a couple of innings in there where he was lights out electric. No one could touch him. In my mind, Taco John's player of the game got to be Comfort.
Will you do the honors?
Absolutely. The player of the game is brought to you by Taco John's of Scottsbluff and Gering. Make Taco John's a game day tradition by unwrapping the original before or after every game.
Let's take a look at what's next before we wrap up. My name's Carson Trail. Thank you very much to Toby Zabore. We don't want to keep you around any longer than you have to be, and with everybody getting up and getting ready to go. You're free to leave at a moment of your choosing, but you'll be back tomorrow.
I'll be here.
Yes, the Pioneers and the Plainsmen to take place at 4:35 tomorrow afternoon on a Sunday. After that, the Pioneers, the remaining 3 of their 6-game homestand, they will play the Colorado Rough Riders, and they will hope to leave their home confines on the road with a bit of momentum, and we will be back very shortly. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Along with Tobias Zabori, I'm Carson Trail. This has been Pioneers Baseball and Plainsmen Baseball on the radio, and we'll be back in just a few.